Mission, KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We are live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location, as we continue with Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you in part by Jim Beam. We've got 4 contestants. Now, if you want to see all the contestants, they're at our website, sasportstar.com. You can go there and vote today, and you got to vote every day. I see one of our previous champs, Michael Jimenez, already out here. You want advice on how to collect votes? Michael Jimenez is a rock star at that. I mean, he was on his HOA page, all kinds of stuff. But we are going to start talking over the next several days. We'll be at Slackers tomorrow with 4 more of our contestants. I know some are coming apparently on Saturday morning on the hangover. You look at it, it sounds fun. We're going to talk to these people, but you want to come meet these people. You want to come hang out with us. And more importantly, you want to come over to Slackers today because we've got Dallas Cowboys tickets to give away. Cowboys and Falcons, you must be here at 7 o'clock when we draw the winner. So, come over here now, get out of the rain, get out of the cold. By the way, when did it get cold? I knew there was something for later in the week for the cold front. I did not realize today about noon it was just going to be a downpour. I was in shorts, flip-flops, outdoors, and ended up heading over to Smoky Mo's to get a Frito pie because instantly like that, it became Frito pie weather. And I was not expecting that. I really was not expecting the cold front today early in the day. And it's November. I'm good with that. Our first cold weather hits in November. But come out and see us here. Get out of the cold, get out of the rain. Cowboys, Falcons tickets that we are going to give away today here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location over here on Fredericksburg Road. And, man, do we have a lot to talk about in the next 3 hours. And it just feels like every time you don't hear a lot about COVID, COVID just jumps out of nowhere and is hitting everything. I mean, and it's hitting the San Antonio Spurs. We'll start there. Jakob Poeltl is now in the health and safety protocols for the San Antonio Spurs. And you think about the Spurs, they're going to play the Dallas Mavericks tonight at the AT&T Center, try to get a little revenge game early in the season because they should have beat Dallas last week up in Dallas. But now without Yak, and as well as he's been playing this year, his 13 points, his 9 rebounds, but what he's done on the defensive side, that's a pretty huge blow. But you look at Lauri Markkanen, who pledge wanted on the Spurs. He went in the protocols this week. Kevin Love is in the protocols. Chris Middleton, Tobias Harris, lots of guys in the NBA hitting the protocols. Then you look at what's going on with the New York Giants. Yes, I know I'm bearing the lead. Saquon Barkley is in the pro. They got 13 guys with the Giants. Now they're retesting everybody just to make sure. And then the big story of the day is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, who had indicated when he decided to come back to work that he was vaccinated, apparently was not. Based on his timeline of when he is eligible to return, Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated. And again, I don't want to say he lied when he came back, but he certainly misled. And the way that Aaron Rodgers does stuff, and he made his decision. He's made his decision. The coach today would not say whether he was vaccinated or not. But you look at it and you sit there and you go, all right, well, you look at the protocols, you could tell he is not after he tested positive. When he came back, he says he was immunized. So I guess technically he didn't lie, but he misled. Whatever he thought he did doesn't fly with the NFL. And then Aaron Rodgers has bigger issues. Now, obviously, he's not going to play this week against Kansas City. He's eligible to come back if he tests negative or whatever before their game against Seattle. But has he been following all the protocols for unvaccinated NFL players? Because they make life hell for those in the NFL that aren't vaccinated. But you look at Aaron Rodgers has done every media session in person inside that building without wearing a mask. Well, if he's unvaccinated, he's supposed to wear a mask anytime he is inside that building. Then you also look at the Halloween party that he was at over the weekend. He's apparently been growing his hair out so he could be perfect for his Halloween costume. Well, the video snippets that have surfaced from the Halloween party certainly show close contact and certainly show him not wearing a mask. So you wonder, does Roger Goodell come down on Aaron Rodgers with some sort of suspension or other fines? Because, well, quite frankly, he broke those protocols. And, the strictness, if you will, of the protocols for those that are unvaccinated, they're pretty strong. And then I go back and I look at it. I am a guy, you've got your choice to make. But when you play a team sport, everything about the team is not being selfish. And if you didn't get vaccinated, you're being selfish because your best ability is availability. We've heard that from coaches a gazillion times. You play the most important position on your team, and now you're not there because you didn't get a shot. I mean, this isn't an ankle sprain. This isn't a calf injury. This is not an injury that you could not control. I mean, you had all the control on this. You knew the risk you were taking. And when you look at Aaron Rodgers this year playing at an MVP level, and you look at all the great quarterbacks, and Mike Greenberg said this morning on TV before we knew about the positive test, when they were going over all the top-tier quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers is playing the best with the less. When you look at the team around him versus the other top quarterbacks in the league right now, whether it's Dak or whoever, the top quarterbacks right now, Aaron Rodgers is doing the most with less. And you look at, Devontae Adams missed last week because of the protocols, other Packers. And then you've got Jordan Love, who is going to make his NFL debut this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I think about the quarterback room. I think about Denver last year. All their quarterbacks had to miss a game, right? And Jordan Love, is he not allowed to sit in the room with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, does Aaron Rodgers make him sit outside the meeting room? I mean, whatever the case is, Jordan Love is the only quarterback in that room that is not on the list. So you sit there and you got to try to figure out, what are the Packers going to do this week? And you think about how tough things are and getting into the postseason, how many games does he ultimately miss? He's going to miss the Kansas City game. Chiefs obviously haven't been playing good football. And then he technically could be eligible for the November 14th game when the Green Bay Packers take on the Seattle Seahawks. He'll have to, I think that's he comes off the list or is eligible to come off the list on that Saturday. Then he could play Sunday. Aaron Rodgers could do that. I don't think anybody's worried that Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be prepared to play if, of course, he stays symptom-free. If, of course, he doesn't get sick. I mean, and right now we don't know, did he get sick or did he just test positive? Because if he's unvaccinated, he has to test every day. And there's lots of questions out there right now with Green Bay as an organization. Have they been following all the protocols? I mean, you think about last year, and last year it was new for everybody, but we know what happened with Tennessee. We know what happened with Denver. And we know the NFL isn't going to cancel games. They said this year they're not going to move games. We're not going to get that random Wednesday night NFL game. That's saved for the MAC right now since we're in November. We'll get those MAC games on a Wednesday night. We know the NFL isn't going to do that right now. But has Aaron Rodgers been following all the protocols for unvaccinated players? I mean, their rules are what they are. But based on press conferences, and based on the Halloween party that he was at this weekend, I think the answer is no. I mean, there's plenty of video evidence of him not following all the protocols for an unvaccinated player. And then, of course, he tests positive today. And you take an MVP caliber player out of your lineup, the Green Bay Packers. I mean, it's odd to say, at least they're playing the Chiefs this week because the Chiefs have struggled all year for whatever reason. The Chiefs haven't been the team we all expected them to be. So, in the matchup of Patrick Mahomes against Aaron Rodgers, certainly loses a lot of its luster coming into this game today. We'll talk a lot about Aaron Rodgers and his positive test. And again, all of the COVID hitting right now. Sidney Crosby in the NHL, number of NBA players, including Jakob Poeltl. And we know Greg Popovich said everybody on the Spurs roster is vaccinated. At media day, Pop said 100%. So hopefully for Yak, it's short term, and he just tested positive, and he's vaccinated, so symptoms you'd expect to be fairly mild. On the Dallas Cowboys front, Tyron Smith, according to Mike McCarthy, is not likely to play this week against the Denver Broncos in a home game at the AT&T Center. Tyron Smith has those bone spurs in his foot. He does not appear like he's going to be ready to go. As far as some of the injured guys, Dak go through practice today. We'll see how they feel tomorrow, but at least they were able to go through practice. Tyron Smith did not. I think the one guy that I was a little bit more concerned about because he got hurt so late in the game, and that was Trayvon Diggs. He was a full participant in practice today, so his ankle injury apparently not that severe. He should be good to go as he continues his incredible season in year two with the Dallas Cowboys with what he's been able to do. Although when I look at the Denver Broncos in their passing game, you know, a guy like Diggs should be licking his chops for the opportunity at more interceptions because Bridgewater just hasn't been there. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb was on there with an ankle injury, all limited today. Dak Prescott was limited today. Diggs, a full participant in practice, and Tyron Smith did not practice. And Mike McCarthy did say today, unlikely that Tyron Smith will be able to play Sunday against the Denver Broncos. And with a bone spur, as we were talking about yesterday with Dr. DiBerardino from TSAOG Orthopedics, that's one of those things that just doesn't go away. You have to have surgery to remove that bone spur. Now, there's some things they could do to pad it up to make it as comfortable as possible, but that's not one of those things that is just going to go away with some rest. So it'll be interesting to see how the Cowboys handle this moving forward. We'll continue to monitor that story as well. Cowboys are going to have a very cool look on Sunday when they take on the Denver Broncos there at AT&T Center, a game you can listen to right here on San Antonio Sports Star. They're going back to the 1976 helmets. Remember, we saw all the photos with Roger Staubach in that two-bar face mask helmet with the red, white, and blue stripe. They are going to have the red stripe added to their helmet this weekend for military appreciation and honoring Medal of Honor recipients at the game. I don't believe they've worn the red stripe since that game in 1976. It's the first time since the 76 season that they have broken out that helmet. And it's America's team. Why not? Have that red, white, and blue on there. So I get a glaring look from one Greg Shelton over here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. The other interesting thing with the Cowboys on the defensive side, and we'll talk about this coming up at 5:30 with Jane Slater from the NFL Network. Jaron Kearse was calling the defensive plays. We didn't know that going into the game against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. In fact, I believe it was Ryan Clark on ESPN that recognized it was Jaron Kearse that had the little green dot on the back of his helmet, not Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons had his best game as a pro. Micah Parsons was named the NFL Defensive Player of the Week. I mean, he had a great game, and I think the reality is I didn't realize or pay attention enough that Micah Parsons was calling all the defensive plays. I know he plays the position in which you should do that. But Jaron Kearse, to have that kind of trust, Dan Quinn is the one talking to him in his ears. He's calling out the signals. And Micah Parsons just got to play see ball, go get ball. And he played a hell of a football game. I think taking a little bit off of Micah Parsons' plate certainly seemed to help him. So I'm guessing that is a change they decided to make during the bye week. And what a great decision it was, at least for one game, that this is what they're going to do. Let somebody else call the defense, and what can we do to get more out of Micah Parsons? I mean, it's not like he's had a rough rookie season, but even he said he hasn't made that impact play yet. He wants to be that guy that can make impact plays. He's played well, but his best game happened to be the first game. He wasn't in charge of calling all the defensive signals. Thought that was pretty interesting. Again, we'll talk about that with Jane Slater coming up at 5:30. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location on Fredericksburg. You want to win Cowboys tickets to go see the Cowboys play the Atlanta Falcons in a couple of weeks. We've got a pair for you right here. Come by, register, and you'll have a chance to win those Dallas Cowboys tickets. The UTSA Roadrunners, they were snubbed in the college football playoff rankings yesterday. And I say snubbed. I guess it's nice if you see yourself ranked in the top 25. Based on their strength of schedule, I'm not surprised they weren't ranked in the top 25, even though they're ranked 16th in the AP poll. I think this college football playoff poll probably just needs to be 10 because, right now with 4 teams going in after 10, it really doesn't matter except for pride. If you're Cincinnati, you've got very good reason to bitch. If you're Cincinnati, what the committee said yesterday was, if you're not a Power 5 team, we don't really care about you. Nice, sweet that you went into Notre Dame and got a win, but really, we don't care about you. That's what the committee said yesterday to a team like Cincinnati. To UTSA, I think their argument on strength of schedule was pretty legit. Was I angry? No. Do I understand the frustration from UTSA fans wanting to see that logo on the top 25 up there with all the big boys? Absolutely, I do. But I tell you what, Jeff Traylor, he is winning on the field, and that dude is winning Twitter as well. Jeff Traylor tweets this morning about the unranked UTSA football program going on the road, and then puts a picture that says USTA, because the chairman of the committee, when talking about UTSA not making the top 25, actually called UTSA USTA. When I first saw the transcript, I wondered if it was a typo, but double checking some things, it was not. He literally said USTA doesn't have the best strength of schedule. And Jeff Traylor takes a photo from the USTA wherever website, superimposes some UTSA football players on there, and tweets it out. And then tweets a picture of like Frank Harris, where should he be ranked in singles and all that kind of stuff. Jeff Traylor with an incredible troll job on Twitter this morning, using whatever it takes to fire up his team and his fan base, because that is the lack of respect that UTSA is trying to get away from. They want to be known as UTSA. They don't want to be known as Texas San Antonio. They want to be known as UTSA, not UT-SA. It's UTSA, UTSA. That's, they send that out in all their media, and people are learning nationally who the UTSA Roadrunners are. And they're going to play a late game on ESPN2 this Saturday night when they take on UTEP. They've got to have a good showing in this game, and there might be an opportunity for them to get up into the top 25 in the college football playoff rankings, because, again, this was the first of several shows before the rankings get out there. And one of the things about this show is to create debate. It's to create conversation. Do we really need to know what the committee is thinking on the second day of November? No. There's a lot of football left to be played. And again, if you're UTSA and they would have been ranked 16, does that really change anything for you? They're not going to the playoff. They're not going to be a playoff team. Even if they end up undefeated, they wouldn't make the top 4. And the committee showed you that yesterday with where they ranked Cincinnati, who's number 2 in the country right now. What they're saying is, if you're a group of 5 and not a power 5, we don't give a damn about you. And then until the playoff expands, and we don't know when the playoff is going to expand. It kind of felt like they were going to do that in the next year or two, but then there was the alliance that was kind of created. So then I think there were middle fingers shot back and forth between the alliance group and the playoff group. But they need a Power 5 playoff and then maybe a Group of 5 playoff. It's kind of like Texas high school football. We have a Division I champion and a Division II champion, or big school, small school, in every classification. Can you have two national champions in college football? Why not? I mean, here's your Division III champion. There's your FCS champion. Go Sam Houston State Bearcats, who are trying to move up and get out of that. UIW is apparently trying to move up into the WAC. We'll ask Eric Morris about that tomorrow when he joins us on the Blitz. But when you look at it, why not have a group of 5 playoff? There'd be enough TV money there and enough interest there. And then you eliminate the conversation. Can UTSA make the Fiesta Bowl this year if they stay undefeated? Absolutely. The highest ranked group of 5 team gets a New Year's Day Bowl. That could be the UTSA Roadrunners. It could. We'll ultimately see where it plays out, where it ends up. But snubbed, disrespected, what the dude said, USTA, yeah. Snubbed. You look at their strength of schedule. I believe it is 126 out of 130. I understand why the committee did not include them there. And again, after 10, I don't think it really matters other than your pride. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. 20 minutes into the show, I guess I got to talk about the World Series last night. I don't really want to. And I tell you what, the Astros hate is still real. I heard from people last night and text messages that I probably can't read on the air that I haven't heard from in a long time that aren't Braves fans. They're just anti-Astros, celebrating that my team lost in the World Series. I mean, I heard from high school friends that I didn't even know had my phone number. But it felt like last night, as soon as that final out happened, my phone started ding, 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 ding. I was like, what's going on? Oh, look, I haven't heard. Oh, yeah, I can't read. I mean, it was just insane how many people wanted to celebrate in the joy of the Houston Astros losing. And what I find interesting about this World Series, and I really did think the Astros were going to win last night and force a Game 7 tonight. Atlanta Braves won this thing. They were the better team. They had better pitching. They had better bats. Has nothing to do with trash cans and buzzers. It's their pitching was just far superior to the Astros hitting. The Astros couldn't hit Atlanta. You can't make excuses for that. There was not some weird call. And you'd expect in an elimination game playing at home, there'd be a little bit more drama. And there wasn't. I mean, there wasn't. I was texting with a friend of mine, John Robbins, who does stats for us on high school football, and that dude grew up an Atlanta Braves fan. And I texted him, congratulations in the 7th inning, hoping, to change the mojo, even though I know it has nothing to do with it. And he was like, no, 6 more outs, 3 more outs. And then the text messages that came from him afterwards, I can't even read on the air. But as a Cowboy fan, as a Longhorn fan, I'm used to the hate. Just add the Astros right in there with it. I mean, the Astros have become, in some ways, it feels like the Dallas Cowboys. I see, James Pledger smiling and laughing, Greg Shelton nodding his head when I say I'm a Cowboy fan. See, you Texans fans would rather see bad things happen to the Cowboys than good things happen for your team. And you look at that, there are more people that are going to watch a Cowboy game hoping they lose than maybe some of their others. They're always a part of the conversation. And I guess the Astros are there. But the weird thing was, after about 10 minutes last night, watching the Braves celebrate, I was over it. And I'm not sure what that says about me. Normally, when my team loses a championship, like it took a couple of days when they lost to the Nationals for me to kind of get over it. Last night, I just turned to my wife and said, well, it saves about $300 worth of new gear that I don't have to buy now. I mean, in reality, that's what I said. I mean, well, I guess I don't get any new T-shirts and hats. Save about $300. I'll be good there. But I wasn't devastated when that was over, and I don't know if it's because Atlanta was just that much better, and they were, or there was no drama. I mean, by the time I got home from Tri-County Meat Market yesterday, and for those of you that came by, that was a great time. But, I walk in the door and they're down, 4-0, 5-0, whatever the score was. And they never even made it interesting. That was the most anticlimactic clinching game. And I credit that manager of the Braves. He looked like a stoic statue the entire game. I mean, there's one out left. You're that close to winning. They've got no chance of coming back. They've shown no signs of life. And you had that second inning look. That's a guy you don't want to play poker with. But I'm already over it. It's interesting because that's not normal for me. And I don't know what that says about me or where the Astros are or the hate or just knowing that Atlanta was the better team. They just were. And what a great story the Atlanta Braves are this year. After Hank Aaron passes, they lose the All-Star game. What they did at the trade deadline to turn things around, they were just the better team once the postseason hit.
Yeah, and I think part of it of not feeling, because I'm the same way, it didn't resonate the sting of losing this World Series. And part of that, I think, is because I never saw this team as a World Series team. They had their struggles there towards the end of the year. They were playing about 500 ball. And then even in the postseason, you lose Lance McCullers in the ALCS, and just getting to the World Series almost felt like an accomplishment for this team. You're dealing with Framber Valdez as your ace and rookie Luis Garcia as your second, and the corpse of Zach Greinke coming in and trying to throw some spot relief. I mean, it was either the bats were hot and you had a chance, or they weren't and you didn't think you were going to win.
Well, and that's it. I mean, for the Astros, and I said this yesterday on the show leading up to Game 6 when they were deciding to go with Garcia, it doesn't matter. It's all about the Houston bats. And last night, the Houston Astros, to get shut out at home, that's just a tough way to go out. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We are at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location. Come by and see us. It's Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you in part by Jim Beam. We'll have 4 contestants by a little bit later on. You want to come by and register to win tickets to go see the Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. We've got those tickets here, and you could go home with them. It's that easy. So come by and see us here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. If you're playing fantasy football, you need to be playing fantasy online at UnderdogFantasy.com. It is the best new place to play fantasy sports with daily and season-long fantasy sports. They got this great NFL pick'em game where you can pick any 2 to 5 player props, parlay them together. You can win up to 20 times on your entry in one night. They've got the over-under, rivals. It's a lot of fun. Sign up today. Use promo code RADIO. When you make your first deposit, you'll receive a free $25 in bonus cash. You can download the app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up. Use promo code RADIO to get that $25 cash for free with your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. Download the app today. Start playing today. Enter promo code RADIO at sign up. Again, download the mobile app or go online, UnderdogFantasy.com. It's Wednesday. That means we'll talk to Maddy Skye. She joins us next after Pledger gives you a Sports Center update.
Thanks a lot, Jason. We'll start off in the World Series where the Astros season came to an end, falling to the Braves 7-0 in Game 6 as the Braves took the series 4 games to do. Jorge Soldier was named the World Series MVP, hitting .300 with 3 homers, 6 RBI, and 3 walks. One of those homers, a 3-run shot that opened up the scoring last night. Astros owner Jim Crane has said that he would begin working on a 1 to 2 year extension for manager Dusty Baker, who said he would like to return as the Astros manager. The Astros, though, won't have pitching coach Brent Strom, as the 73-year-old said that he won't be returning in 2022. In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was named the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in the Cowboys' 20-16 win over the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday night, in which Parsons had 11 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 quarterback hit in the win. The Houston Texans cut cornerback Vernon Hargreaves today. The former 2016 first-round pick of the Tampa Bay Bucks played in 8 games this year, starting 5, picking off the pass, and deflecting 3 others. Finally, the San Antonio Spurs take on the Dallas Mavericks tonight, but they'll be without Jakob Poeltl, who is in the health and safety protocols. Tip-off is set for 7:30 from the AT&T Center. I'm James Pledger.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
If you've been hurt in a crash, do your research. You'll find plenty of lawyers out there. They'll probably do a fine job. But ask yourself, is fine really good enough for you and your family? Don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today. San Antonio, Texas.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6 for lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect fever is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. The hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They are reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Hey, team, we landed the contract.
Kayo's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week.
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
Front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Your safety and full satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority. Free estimates and no appointment necessary. We work for you. If you've been in an accident, visit My Collision Center for a free estimate today. With 5 area locations, visit mycollisioncenter.com.
Second it takes. The Blitz with Jason Minix and Sports Insiders. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I ain't even here right now. We the Blitz will bring to you the best look of the city view. It's Maddy Skyline, yeah. It's time for Maddy Skyline.
It is time for Maddy Skyline here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix, live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location. We're here till 7. Come by, see us. Your chance to win Cowboys Falcons tickets in a couple weeks up there at Jerry World. It's also time for Rock the Mic. We'll hear from some of the contestants a little bit later on in the show, but right now it's time to hear from Maddy Skye. And I tell you, Maddy, it's Maddy Skye, the sports reporter today.
Yeah, I've been so busy with sports. Wow, I hear an echo. That sounds so funny. Sounds kind of creepy. But yeah, so busy with UTSA. You're the first call I had this morning to help me figure out the USPA meme. And as I look back on some of the other stuff, like this is not a new thing. People have been getting UTSA's name wrong for months, or I don't even. Somebody sent me a picture of a shirt years that had USP on it, USPA on it, a UTSA branded shirt that had it flipped. So
it's interesting because I mean your social media game is far superior to mine, and I look at Jeff Traylor winning on the field and he's winning on Twitter. I mean that was grade A level trolling this morning by the head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners.
Yeah, and I think it was a morale booster too, because seeing all of the success that UTSA has had this season, and ranking on all these different polls, and then on this playoff one to just completely get snubbed over Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh? I think they got the 26th spot. Pretty sure it was Pittsburgh. I'm sure that was kind of like a punch, but especially coming up with such an important game. But I think that was a morale booster for a lot of the fans. So it was funny to see everybody getting really excited about it.
And that's it. And I look at it. It's fun to talk about, and it's something to complain about. That's legit. But in reality, I look at that poll, it should not go past 10, because anything after 10, you have no chance of getting one of the 4 playoff spots, right? And UTSA or USTA, they have the same amount of opportunity, and their strength of schedule is what it is. And that committee looks at your resume, and while the Roadrunners are undefeated, who they've beaten in their records, it's not a good strength of schedule. So, I mean, I wasn't surprised that they didn't make that part of it. But it is something fun to rally the troops. And that ranking is all to spark debate. That's what it's there for. That's why they have the first one come out first week of November, first Tuesday in November. And next week, if they beat UTEP, maybe they sneak in there or whatever. Somebody's going to drop out. The only team that really has an argument is Cincinnati. Outside of that, you're just bitching a bitch when I look at that. But I do understand where Coach Traylor is coming from when the committee chair calls them USTA. And when I first saw that, I thought it was a typo, but apparently it was not a typo. That dude literally said it, which shows you the respect nationally that UTSA has. Maddy, you're also on the Spurs beat going to the game tonight. Although I know you're a Spurs fan, a basketball fan, you're going there to eat. I don't know how you got the lucky assignment tonight. I'm jealous, but tell us what you're doing tonight at the Spurs game.
That sounds like the memoir of my life. She's going there to eat. So yeah, the Spurs Sports and Entertainment, who manages everything at the AT&T Center, not just Spurs games, but all the other functions that take place there. Each year they invite in tastemakers to take a tour of the AT&T Center offerings, and each year they have really great stuff. But I will say my all-time favorite, and it's gonna be hard to top, if you've ever had or if you've never had the chicken strips at the AT&T Center, I think it's called Chicken Love and Tender. So good. And you can get all these different types of sauces, and they give you in this nice little box. I think it's the last time I had it, I think it was $13 worth. It's so much food. I had to share it with somebody the last time I had it. It's a huge serving of fries, chicken strips. So when I go on these tours, I already have my mind made up about what I want to eat. But they take you around and show you. And as food and culture editor, it's important for us to know what's the AT&T Center as far as food goes for all these events.
It's both. It's food and it's culture. It's the Spurs culture and what they're going to feed you there. And I know they've added a lot of new food options at the AT&T Center and elevated cuisine. And it's interesting because when you go to stadiums now, whether you're going up to Jerry World or NRG down in Houston for a Texans game, baseball stadiums, it's not just hot dogs and popcorn and nachos anymore. I mean, I was looking at when they first sent out the release several weeks ago about the new options at the AT&T Center. They really stepped up their game. You're gonna be very full tonight. I hope they give you a to-go bag.
They tapped a chef that is from Mexico City. I think I spoke to him a couple months ago. So I mean, it's really good cuisine, and it's very well thought out. You don't get like typical bizarre arena food. Like, it's culturally relevant. It's tasty, so it's exciting. Every year it's exciting. And of course, you have Chef Johnny Hernandez has his outpost there with the margaritas, which are delicious, no matter what. So yeah, it should be fun. And then I get to watch the game too.
And then you get to watch the game, Spurs and Mavs, and you should end up seeing a really good basketball game. So it's tough life being the food and culture editor of the San Antonio Express News. What else has been going on in your news world?
We also have, talking about the Spurs, the new Cultura line, which is really cool. I'm going to grab one of those shirts tonight. It has like this spray paint looking vibe. They release them every year, but this year there's this shirt that I really want. It says like the team of San Antonio in Spanish, and then it has paletas and raspas on the side. So I really want that. And then that goes on until tonight first, the AT&T Center, and then online right at 7:30, and then at the Lock and Terra shop on November. I can't remember the date, but just check my story. It has all the information on it.
Next couple of days, mysa.com, or get her on Twitter, and you'll be able to find that out. Any new restaurants opening up? It seems like every week there's new spots that I want to go check out.
Yeah, we've had such a big boom. There's one coming summer 22 that I just wrote about, called Ladino, and it's going to be like Mediterranean grill house at the Pearl. Looks really tasty. So I'm going to have to up my Mediterranean taste buds up, because right now all I'm obsessed with is cava, and I know that's probably like the Chipotle of Mexican food, but it's good. But I have time to learn more about Mediterranean food, because as I said before, I'll stay in my lane when it comes to anything that's not Tex-Mex, because I'm not an expert on it. So I can't really speak to their merit, but it looks delicious.
Well,
and it looks really nice too.
And your see, how do I say this? Your Twitter timeline has the last several weeks, I get very hungry seeing all the food that you're tweeting out. Shea Serrano tweeted out a photo of a taco that you retweeted. Do you write about a place that Shea goes? Because that taco looked really good.
This is a whole thing that's been happening since yesterday. Because I told you, I can't speak to other culture cuisine, but I will speak to Tex-Mex. And people were really upset that I put cheese on my carne guisada with carne guisada tacos. It's not that I need the cheese. I want the cheese. So
well, it's because Jeff Traylor says don't eat the cheese, but I'm with you. I want cheese on everything.
Yeah, like, why are you so upset about cheese? Somebody went as far as saying that tacos don't have cheese on them, which there's queso fresco, there's a whole thing. But there was a whole debate going on. So I was like, you know what? Shea Serrano also eats carne guisada with cheese, and he's very Mexican too. So it was the whole thing. But yes, carne guisada with cheese. If you haven't tried it, try it. Change your life. Add some razzle dazzle to it. It won't hurt, unless you're
lactose.
You have food allergies, and don't do that if you have a food allergy.
Well, sometimes it might be worth it. Eat the cheese and deal with the consequences. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, it's not like James Pledger doesn't want onions on anything. That I understand. But cheese,
what?
Yeah, Pledge doesn't
onions
eat onions.
Delicious.
They are. I realize. I mean, you got to understand. Pledge is 8, and eats like a 4-year-old at times.
Oh, are you chicken tender boy? So that's when I said chicken tenders. He was like, oh.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. I mean, that's what he does. But and I understand, like, if you don't like onions, there's something wrong with you to begin with. But cheese goes on everything, and it's not a taco without cheese. It's like somebody said they wanted a cheeseburger with no cheese. I'm like, yeah. John Dyer, he said on Facebook Live, onions are gross, man. I don't know what's wrong with you people.
We agree on a lot of things. Mr. John and I agree on a lot of things, but I don't know, man. Onions are delicious.
I don't understand how Jason doesn't like tomatoes.
See, I'm allergic to tomatoes.
Tomatoes are good. I don't know. There's not much I don't like.
Yeah. No, I'm allergic to. It's the little seeds in a raw tomato. So I can eat spaghetti sauce. I can eat salsa. But if you just slice a tomato and put it on a burger, those little seeds, they'll send me to a small room for about 3 days, and it ain't pretty. So no tomatoes for me.
That's a delicate way of putting it.
Very, very. Trying to be there. Maddie, enjoy the Spurs game tonight. Eat well. Take a bag so you can bring the leftovers home. All right, good stuff. Maddy Skye from the San Antonio Express News reader there, or at mysa.com, the food and culture editor of the San Antonio Express News. As we continue here on the Blitz live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the medical center location, as we get you ready for Rock the Mic. Lots to get into. Jane Slater from the NFL Network will join us coming up at 5:30. Aaron Rodgers is going to miss a game this week. He has tested positive for COVID. So is Jakob Poeltl. He is in the protocols. It seems like all of a sudden a whole bunch of athletes are ending up in the COVID protocols, where it feels like we haven't talked about that or seen this many at the same time in a long time. But Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback, not vaccinated, and he's going to miss at least one game, potentially two. We'll see how that plays out. We'll talk about that. And Henry Ruggs, the information that is coming out about Henry Ruggs in that car accident, very alarming. We'll talk about that as well here on the Blitz live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Let me tell you about Alamo Water Softeners. You know, I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners in my home for over a decade now. Wouldn't live without one. You know you want the best water quality for your family, so go to alamowatersofteners.com. Schedule an appointment and have one of their whole home specialists come out to your house and give you a free water analysis, and then they're going to give you a customized plan for your house. And right now at Alamo Water Softeners, they are offering 0% financing for 2 years with approved credit. So you need to take advantage of this same as cash offer on a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, a +1 filter, and a reverse osmosis system while supplies last. Now is the time to take advantage of 0% financing and bundle pricing at Alamo Water Softeners. Go to their website, alamowatersofteners.com, and discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. alamowatersofteners.com.
Who's ready to play some ball? Friday nights under the lights. Don't miss the high school football game of the week. Powered by Hill Electric. This Friday on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
At Manrique Custom Vision, you'll find some people just aren't good candidates for Z-LASIK. That's why they have different technologies for different patients. They are a custom vision center focused on helping people get rid of their glasses and contacts. Rudy J here. Call them today for a complimentary consultation to see what's right for you. Financing is offered to all FSA and medical spending accounts accepted. Get treated like family by Dr. Manrique. Call 354-2020 for the Manrique difference. That's 354-2020.
Our favorite season of the year at Diamonds Direct is right around the corner, and we can't wait to show you what we've got ready. Our showcases are filled with the best selection ever of exquisite jewelry. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, all the newest fashion jewelry, as well as those time-tested classics. We've carefully priced everything to ensure you get the guaranteed best value, regardless of your budget. And over the past few months, we've expanded our loose diamond selection, adding a special collection of large, rare diamonds, 3 carats and up. Rounds, princess cuts, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, perfect for that holiday diamond upgrade. We've also made arrangements with our premier designers to bring you jewelry you won't be able to find at other stores. Unique, one-of-a-kind, fashion-forward pieces she's going to love. So the stage is set at Diamonds Direct as we anticipate an exciting and fun holiday season, with even more surprises coming in the weeks ahead. Make this upcoming holiday the most memorable ever, with help from your friends at Diamonds Direct. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
The Saturday Morning Hangover. Saturdays 9 till 11 with James Pledger and Jack Thompson. Roll out of the sack as the guys recap the weekend sports and deliver in-depth takes on the weekend's upcoming action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. You can get me on Twitter at Jason Minix. You could always dial us up on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. James Pledger producing. He's on Twitter at I Am Pledger. We are live at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar as we get Rock the Mic 2021 underway. The I don't know what we're calling them, finalists, the top 12,
These
top
are
13.
The dirty dozen plus one.
The dirty dozen. We suck at math. That's why we're in radio. But I mean, they're on the website now at sasportstar.com. So you can go there and vote. And today we've got 4 contestants that are scheduled to come here at Slackers. We're going to put them on the air as we get Rock the Mic 2021 underway. And what's cool is the morning guys are here. Rob Thompson. Say hi, Rob.
Howdy.
Rudy J is here. RJ is here in spirit. Carl Schoening is here. Michael Jimenez is here. James Pledger's back in the box. That's
normally how it goes,
yeah,
right?
That's exactly how it goes. And you think as we get ready for Rock the Mic, I didn't go to the meeting the other day when we were going through all the 12 and all that. I missed some of the fun.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Over 30 people submitted videos, which is good, and we're going to start visiting with these people. And you can come and A, see them, but B, come by Slackers because you could win Cowboys tickets to when they play the Atlanta Falcons in 2 weeks up there at AT&T Stadium. But Rob, I get asked all the time. A guy yesterday at Tri-County was like, "I don't know if I made it yet. I don't have, but when you guys put me on the air, what should I do?"
Be yourself.
Exactly.
We don't expect to hire a sports talk radio host. If you'd be in the business already if you were that. We're looking for personality. We're looking for somebody who reflects their roots, wherever that might be, passion to talk about sports in whatever facet that they find interesting, and be engaging and entertaining. That you don't have to do anything other than be yourself. And if you've made it into our finals 13, you've already proven that you can do that. And
that's it. And now, do well here, but important. Get the vote out. Get the vote out, because this part of it, we just want to get to know you a little bit.
That's what's going to happen today and tomorrow and Friday. But do go to our website. Do go vote. You will have to listen to whoever wins this thing. So play a role in this. It's easy to do. You can vote once a day. Go check everybody out. And I think you'll be surprised. There's a lot of talent around the city.
There really is. And some of the videos that I've watched, I'm like, all right. And how it always works is I might look at something. You might look at something, think, well, that might be the winner. And they don't even make the top 4.
Inevitably. Ask Mike Jimenez.
Exactly. That's part of how it goes. And you look at Mike Jimenez, everybody that has won this is working in the business, right, including Mike Jimenez, who is now doing noon to 2.
Yes, he is. And if I recall, we talked about it on Monday. After he completed his first tryout, his audition, Pledger turned to him and said, I've seen worse. a thrilling and a perfect picture of what Michael Jimenez was going to become. We've seen worse.
Yeah,
he was the acorn that became the mighty oak.
But somehow he got his HOA to vote for him. Somehow he had people that actually pays attention to the HOA page.
Yeah, don't go get those bots either. That's happened in the past. We know if that's happened.
Yeah, we put things in place so that can't happen.
Go vote. Come out to Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar today and tomorrow. We're excited about this. We want you to play a role in it, and being in the crowd certainly does. And if you're one of our semifinalists, come out and enjoy your time. Don't be nervous. Sit down and talk with us. We're kind. We're gentle. And we're heading toward a champion here in about 2 weeks.
Rob Thompson from R&R in the Morning. I wanted you to jump on here because, by de facto, you become the legal expert of the group.
Yeah,
right.
I slept at a Holiday Inn.
Yeah,
last night.
well, you did, but you sat around enough dinner tables.
I've been around enough attorneys and sat as a defendant many times.
Yeah, so I look at this Ruggs situation, which is so scary. I mean, when you start seeing some of the numbers that came out, he did not make a mistake. He made bad decisions.
Yeah,
I saw earlier, like, well, he made a mistake. He's 22. That was not a mistake. And with these cars, and he's driving a Corvette, and, they've got the black boxes. We learned about that with Tiger Woods.
Right.
We know he was going 126 at impact. The DA has said his blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. Do you try to defend him to get the least amount of jail time as possible? Because there's no way.
This will never go to trial.
You just settle this.
Yeah, this is such an awful situation. He'll be lucky. I don't know what the Las Vegas or the Nevada laws are, but you have to assume they start at 20 years when we're talking about intoxication, manslaughter, or DUI, or however they define it there. This is such a tragic situation. I can't imagine there's some sort of extraneous factor or extenuating circumstance that would have caused him to do that. So there's really not a lot of defense here. I mean, his blood alcohol was there. We have the black box. It'll be up to the DA whether they want to settle this. This might be a showcase that they want to take to trial, but I can't imagine.
Well, and I think about the 23, 24-year-old lady that died. Her family, you're going to have to settle there. And I was looking at trying like what was it, Stallworth, who had a similar situation and ended up with.
You're right.
And he only did 30 days in jail. And so I'm trying to figure out if you're defending him. And he'll have a defense, and he deserves, just like any other citizen, whether he's an NFL player or not, he'll just have a lot more attention because he was an NFL player. And getting released, he no longer has access to NFL attorney types either, which is interesting. And he hadn't been in the league long enough to rake up a ton of money in his bank account, right?
No,
so
I would expect the union to come to his help. As a member of the union, he might have access to an attorney through the union.
Although he's not vested. I mean, he get released.
That's true.
His second year in the league, but I was trying to figure out, how do you defend a guy when you start seeing that right away? And is it just like, dude, apologize, admit, bad mistake, and try to get the least amount of jail time and the longest probation you could get?
I can't imagine another scenario than that. The DA has to walk this very fine line. You don't want to waste taxpayer dollars if you can get the enough justice, enough punishment that you feel like it's adequate, so you don't have to waste time and money in a courtroom. But you also have to please the defendant. You're representing the defendants in this as well, not just the people. And you want to make sure that the defendants, not the defendant, the family of the deceased, you want to make sure that they get the justice they feel like they deserve. So it might require jury in a trial, just so the DA feels like they're meting out justice the way it should be. This is an awful situation.
And seeing a tweet from a friend of mine that works radio in Las Vegas, will they throw the book at him just to set the standard now that there's all these young pro athletes living in a city where generally you can go there and do whatever you want?
It's very true.
But when you live there, there's actually rules.
There are
where
rules.
most of us vacation there and we think, no rules in Vegas, but there are pretty strict rules in Las Vegas.
Can you imagine how we would treat some interloper from another city here in San Antonio who killed one of ours? Think about what we would want to see and the justice we would want to see delivered for our local person. So that's another one of those things that the attorney has to take into account. Can he even begin to get a fair trial? I mean, can you find enough people in there that don't have an opinion one way or the other regarding a professional athlete driving drunk 126 miles an hour on a Tuesday night and killing a family and a dog? I mean, how do you even begin to talk about that?
And you realize these Ruggs, he's 22 years old. You've got young ones. I've got a 23-year-old daughter. All you got to do is check their Snap and their Instagram stories, and you will have a very detailed account of what was going on in the night that led to him getting into that car.
It's just a horrific and terrible thing. I can't even comprehend the sadness involved with everybody involved.
Come hang out with Rob, Rudy, Carl Schoening, Michael Jimenez. We're here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location. Your chance to win Cowboys, Falcons tickets. Rock the Mic 2021 underway. Get yourself some Jim Beam while you're out here. We're going to be making a drink with the good people at Jim Beam here in a little bit as well. You look at the NFL this week, and You got Saquon Barkley test positive. Aaron Rodgers is testing positive. We'll talk about that as we continue here on the Blitz. But first, let me tell you about Garageization. I moved to my new house early 2020, and my garage in the new house is not as big as the garage I had in the old house. And, I'm parking both cars in there, got my golf clubs, all the other stuff you have in your garage. I needed a garage organization solution. I found it with Garageization. I called several other companies, didn't like what they were offering, didn't like their price point. My neighbor actually found Garageization, and they did incredible things in his garage with slat walls and overhead racks and shelving systems. So I called them. They came out. I just needed a couple of shelves. And in that area above the beer fridge, and so you got all that space up there up to the ceiling. They put a shelf up there, so it's perfect for some good long-term storage. And then I've got another shelf, again, above long-term storage. But they've got these adjustable bars underneath, so you can hang stuff underneath and utilize all that space. If you need to organize your garage, call Garageization at 210-664-4494. Talk to them about those shelves, the overhead racks, slat walls, closed storage. Make your garage functional for the entire family. And don't forget about your floor. You need to get that garage floor sealed for more than just making it look good. It's incredible when you learn about sealing your garage, what that does for your home. Garageization has been around since 2008. They're veteran owned. So for more than a decade, they've been helping San Antonians love their garage. Call them, have them give you a customized plan for your garage. Go to the Garageization website. It's garageorganizationsanantonio.com. That's garageorganizationsanantonio.com.
Listeners of the Paul Feinbaum Show come from all parts of the South.
I live in the mountains.
They're passionate about the SEC.
I've been drinking a little beer this afternoon, and I've got the feeling that we're going to beat Georgia by 3.
They're a rowdy bunch.
Woo! Yeah, Pig, do it!
And they're the most honest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, do like me. I've given up women and turned to porn.
There's nothing like the SEC. Talk SEC with Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays 2 to 4, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain, whether you're vaccinated or not, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Rock the Mic is back at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We've narrowed it down to our top 13, and they're ready to show you what they've got. Join us at a Slackers near you. Help us decide on a winner and enter to win Dallas Cowboys game tickets. Today we'll be live at Slackers Medical Center location and tomorrow at the Slackers Nacogdoches location. And every day someone is going home with a pair of Cowboys tickets just for stopping by. Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar and in part by Jim Beam.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this kind of cold, wet afternoon. Come hang out with us. We're at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We are at the Medical Center location, and if you're hungry, come on by. Couples Catering is outside. They've got all kinds of food out there that I keep seeing walk by that looks incredible. Come by and see us here. Come hungry, come thirsty. We're here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Come by. You could also register to win Dallas Cowboy tickets that we will give away at 7 o'clock today, but you have to come to Slackers to register to win. So come by and see us here today to win Cowboys-Falcons tickets 2 weeks from now when the Cowboys play the Falcons up there at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Cowboys, they've got the Denver Broncos this week. We'll talk about it coming up at 5:30 with Jane Slater from the NFL Network, although they probably won't have Tyron Smith when they play that game against the Denver Broncos. Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys head coach, said earlier today that Tyron, who did not practice today, is unlikely to play with those bone spurs this weekend against the Atlanta Falcons. So that's not good for the Cowboys. It will be interesting to see what they end up doing on that offensive line. Does La'el Collins go in at right tackle and Terrence Steele move over to the left? Does Ty Nsekhe get the start at left tackle? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And, of course, Mike McCarthy non-committal today about that because they want to get some practice in. I mean, you look at La'el Collins, he doesn't play left tackle, hadn't practiced at left tackle. And it is very different, very, very different going from the left side to the right side. Sounds easy enough, but everything would be different. Let's say you're right-handed. Now you got to start writing with your left-handed. Only say you break your wrist and you see how ugly your handwriting is left-handed. It could be that way for Collins playing left tackle as opposed to right tackle. Terrence Steele does have experience at the swing tackle position, and so does Ty Nsekhe, who was brought in for that reason when he signed this offseason after spending a couple of years with the Buffalo Bills and with Washington before that, although Ty Nsekhe did not have a good preseason. Not at all. That's why when Collins got suspended, it was Terrence Steele who got the start at right tackle and not Ty Nsekhe, who is brought in to be that swing tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, Dak Prescott goes through practice today, limited, but he did practice. Diggs was a full participant on his ankle. Again, we'll talk more about that coming up at 5:30 when Jane Slater of the NFL Network joins us. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, how mad at you are you at Aaron Rodgers? I mean, and this becomes the debate for athletes and being vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated and is tested positive for COVID. Now, I'm the kind, you make a decision that's for you. But when you play team sports, you put your team at risk. You are being very selfish by not getting vaccinated. It's one thing that you've got to deal with a whole different set of protocols that make your life miserable, but the amount of time you have to be out and you're not available for your team is selfish. And everybody in football, you talk about team first, team first, team first. Not an I thing. And when you play the most important position on a football team, quarterback, you look at what you could be costing your team. I look at Aaron Rodgers, who I can't say that he lied because he said he was immunized. He didn't say he was vaccinated. So he didn't lie, but he alluded to the fact that when he came back from his long summer vacation, he gave the impression that he was vaccinated, and now there could be more punishment coming from the National Football League because it does seem that he has violated a bunch of the protocols that unvaccinated players have to follow. I mean, if you're unvaccinated, you can't be inside the building without a mask on. Well, every week, Aaron Rodgers has done his media sessions without a mask, and those are held inside the building. It's not like they went outside in the parking lot to do it. And then, of course, it turns out he was growing out his hair and all this kind of stuff because of his Halloween costume. Well, there's video of Aaron Rodgers at a Halloween party without a mask on, surrounded by a whole bunch of people. And again, If you're vaccinated, no big deal. If you're unvaccinated, that violates the protocols. I don't make up the rules. I didn't make up the rules. But the commissioner has said they will come down hard on players, unvaccinated players, that break the rules. Now you're Aaron Rodgers. You're one of the best quarterbacks in league history. You're having an MVP type of season. And now you're not going to be able to play in a game this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And there will be some question whether or not you're going to be ready to go when they play the Seattle Seahawks on November 14th. I hope Aaron Rodgers is positive and symptom-free, or if he has symptoms, they're mild. But that timeline is if he does have only mild symptoms or no symptoms. If he's sick, he could be out even longer. And then, of course, does the NFL punish him further? And is that just fines, or would that be any kind of suspension from Roger Goodell, who I'm sure is not happy that it's one of the more high-profile players in the league that is having to deal with this now, because there's plenty of evidence that he didn't follow all the unvaccinated player protocols. And then it does make you wonder, in Green Bay, as a team, were they following all the protocols that are put in place? I mean, you think about what everybody went through last year, and it was all new to us last year. But you saw what happened with Tennessee last year. Remember, Denver had to play a game without a quarterback, and they actually played better than when they did have a quarterback. But, I mean, you got this Jordan Love guy who's going to make a start. He's going to get his first opportunity. And my first thought was, well, does he not sit in the same meeting rooms with Aaron Rodgers? I mean, the third-string quarterback got on the COVID list, but Love did not. They're flying in Blake Bortles to help quarterback the Green Bay Packers. I guess to be the backup if Jordan gets hurt or Jordan struggles. But again, I go back to, you're a quarterback. The science has been overwhelming. Your personal belief is your personal belief. But if your job says, you know what, you need to get a vaccination, you'll get it. If you're a quarterback in the National Football League, you play a position that there's not 20 dudes on this planet that can do what you do. Well, I mean, we see about 12 really bad quarterbacks in the NFL. So there's about 20 guys on the planet that can do what you do, Aaron Rodgers. You are doing more with less. I look at the team around Aaron Rodgers, and they're good this year because of Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. What date, Pledge, what day does he go on Pat McAfee? Has he already done McAfee this week? He already did?
I believe it's Wednesdays. Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Tuesday. But I mean, he hasn't been on since he's tested positive, right?
I have not seen him this week.
Oh, Rob Thompson is saying he was on yesterday, but that was before he tested positive. I can't wait to hear McAfee talk to him about testing positive and what Aaron Rodgers is doing in a room all by himself for the next 10 days. I mean, I'm sure it's a really big room on a country club, house in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which I'm sure is spectacular this time of year. But it is going to be interesting to see how he reacts to it, because he alluded to the fact that he was good to go when he said, I'm trying to find the right word.
He didn't say he was
immunized. He said he's been immunized. He didn't say he was vaccinated. But I think everybody took that as, all right, he's good to go. And you look at it. You're the quarterback. You've got your availability is the most important thing. This isn't an ankle sprain. This isn't a concussion. This isn't a calf injury. This is, you made a decision, and now it's going to cost you a game, might cost you a win, might ultimately cost your team 2 wins or 3, depending on how long he's ultimately out. Now, I look at this Kansas City team. I'm curious to see what Love can do. He was drafted ultimately to be Aaron Rodgers' replacement. And I thought it was interesting when LaFleur was on TV earlier, while Aaron Rodgers gets all the first-team reps, one of the things that they have done in Green Bay, which I find, I don't know if every team does this or not, but on their scout team, they take those plays and put them into the Green Bay Packers terminology to help Love continue to learn what the Packers are doing. So while he doesn't get first-team reps, he's getting a lot of scout team reps, but using the terminology that the Green Bay Packers would do. So when you you look at that aspect of it, it will be interesting to see how ready he is. Now, seeing Cooper Rush and what he did for the Cowboys the other night, seeing what Mike White did for the New York Jets, if you're Green Bay and you know you're playing a Kansas City defense that isn't very good, maybe all isn't lost. We know they have a good run game. They do appear to be getting some of the wide receivers back that they had lost to COVID. So maybe Love goes out there and has a good game. I think we can all safely say, though, he would have to be 48 of 50 for 580 yards and 9 touchdowns for anybody to say, well, I wonder if Aaron Rodgers is going to get his job back, right? I mean, Aaron Rodgers' job is safe, but I do think this is an opportunity for him and the Packers to know if they made the right decision. How does he look out there in this game? Because Aaron doesn't give up first-team reps, ever. And if something happens to him, they've got to turn to Blake Bortles. And I just look at, we don't know the vaccination status of everybody in the NFL. And this is kind of like what Kyrie is doing there in Brooklyn. He can't go anywhere without proving that he's not vaccinated. This can't be a surprise to the Green Bay Packers, because whatever Aaron said at that press conference is one thing, but I'm pretty sure that the NFL requires every player to show their vaccination card. So I'm guessing the Packers knew he was unvaccinated. I know when we went to NFL training camp this year, when we went out to Oxnard as media types, we had to show not only our vaccination card to prove that we were fully vaccinated, that we were past that 14-day window. We had to do that well in advance, but we also had to test while we were out there. So this was not a surprise to the Green Bay Packers that he's unvaccinated. It's not the situation that we've seen other players who are vaccinated. You test positive, and then you just have to have 2 negative tests over a 24-hour period, and you're good to go. I mean, his window now is the Saturday before their next game. So he might be out ultimately 2 games. Now, if there's any player that could show up and just play a game against the Seahawks, it's Aaron Rodgers. And with Zoom and the technology, he'll be able to be a part of the meetings. He'll be able to do everything but practice. And I don't know how much Aaron Rodgers actually needs to do that. And again, that's assuming, and I know what it's like to assume, but that's assuming that he's got mild symptoms or no symptoms. I mean, if he goes through a rough episode of COVID, and we've seen some athletes that have done that, it might be more than 2 weeks. And again, you're a quarterback, and you've got a good football team right now that is trying to get home field advantage. And if they end up losing home field advantage, and we all know how tough it is to go play a playoff game in Lambeau, they lose that because they don't win games while Aaron Rodgers is on the COVID list, and they win out when he comes back, or maybe only stumble once. How many Green Bay fans, they started to turn on him this summer. And who knows what his future is going to be like in Green Bay. But when I look at what they are doing, how they are doing it, it's kind of one of those very bizarre, very interesting situations where a lot of teams have depth of positions, and you can overcome a loss of this player or that player to the COVID list. I mean, they lost Devontae Adams to the COVID list last week at wide receiver. They were fine. You can't afford to lose your quarterback. You just can't. Teams don't have 2 of them, and there's no other Aaron Rodgers out there. It'll be interesting to see. Can't wait for him to be on Pat McAfee next. McAfee gets him the best. And McAfee is such a cool dude. We've met him a couple times at Super Bowls. And how he got Aaron Rodgers to agree to do that, I'll never know. But it's fantastic. I'm glad he goes on there for that kind of entertainment. And it's not just the Green Bay Packers that are dealing with COVID. The New York Giants are dealing with COVID. They had 13 yesterday test positive. They retested, and only the running back coach came back with a positive test. But today, Saquon Barkley, amongst several other Giants, tested positive. Now they're going to retest because they're trying to decide if they've got some sort of outbreak going on in their facility, or did they have a bad whatever. I mean, it's interesting when you test and you retest and you get different results, and then you retest just to double check the test, and then you recheck that test. I mean, the Giants could be without Saquon. They could be without several players. They could be without some coaches. it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then you look at the NBA, the number of NBA guys this week that have tested positive, and it hits the San Antonio Spurs today. You've got Jakob Poeltl is in these health and safety protocols starting today. Don't know when he tested positive. I'm either last night or today. Well, you know, I know with the NBA, they get those results pretty quick, the way they do the test. I know when we had to go over there for media day, those results came back very quick. So I'm guessing either this morning or last night, they found out about Jakob, who is vaccinated, according to Greg Popovich. Pop said at media day, the Spurs were 100% on the vaccination. So hopefully he won't have to be in the protocols long. But you look around, Lori Markkanen is in the protocols. Was there 5-6 guys right now in the NBA that went in the protocols? Tobias Harris, I know, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, a bunch of guys going into the protocols. Chris Middleton, again, Pledge, you look at it, Sidney Crosby in hockey, it felt like we haven't talked COVID a lot in several weeks. And then all of a sudden, boom, this guy's on the list. Boom, that guy's on the list. Boom, that guy is on the list. Boom, here's another one on the list. Boom, here's another one on the list. Right as I saw San Antonio in our city, we went to the low category.
Well, the weather just got cold, and with cold weather usually comes sickness. So a spike in numbers may be evident due to the weather sweeping across the country.
Well, and it got cold here today too. But again, I think there's a difference between COVID and flu. And, you know, some in the medical field expect it to be a pretty rough flu season. Last year wasn't, because we were all at home. Now that we're all back out doing things, will it be a rougher typical flu season, which you might think you have COVID and you're not? You know, it's like I had a severe cold several weeks ago and went and got tested thinking, crap, man, I've got COVID there. And the doc came in the room and said, you know, good news or bad news? And I said, well, just give it to me. So, well, the good news is you have a severe cold. Well, how's that good news? It's because you don't have COVID. All right. I'm good with that. And I think you're going to see that a lot. Although hopefully people are still washing their hands and doing everything they have to do. Very interesting to see what is happening there at the NFL. And this Aaron Rodgers story is just going to continue to drive speculation on his future with the Green Bay Packers. I mean, if you're, you know, looking at some Twitter, and again, you can't gauge everything off Twitter, and people are very opinionated on Twitter where they wouldn't say things to his face, but it seems like Packer fans not at all happy with their quarterback. And I think it's partly because, and again, he didn't lie to anybody, but I think a lot of people, a lot of Packer fans are feeling like he lied to them by indicating that he was vaccinated when in fact he wasn't vaccinated. And you know that based on the protocol timeline that the NFL put out and the Green Bay Packers put out for him, for his eligibility to come back and play. Very interesting. I mentioned Jakob Poeltl. He goes into the protocols for the San Antonio Spurs. They've got a home game tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. And you think about this Mavs game tonight. This is one that prior to the news of Jakob, I thought the Spurs are going to be able to win this game. Now, Doug McDermott's available today according to the injury report that the Spurs put out. He is eligible to return to play. We'll see. He's available. But no Yak. He's been so good this year that we'll see how the Spurs try to overcome the loss of Jakob Poeltl. But they also, after the way they played against the Indiana Pacers, you know that had to be a very colorful film session with Greg Popovich after the loss to the Pacers and how poorly they played against a Rick Carlisle coach team. Now you come back and you think about that game against Dallas the other day in Dallas, where they were at, 20 in the first half, and they blow that game late. Spurs don't know how to win those games, but they should be able to beat the Dallas Mavericks. No Yak tonight. We'll see how it plays out, but certainly should be an interesting game tonight for the San Antonio Spurs as they return home after that 3-game roadie. We are live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location. Come by. You could register to win Cowboys-Falcons tickets at AT&T Stadium coming up in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks from this Sunday. They got the Broncos this week, then they got the Falcons. You want to go to the game, and they're good seats too. They are really good seats. You got to come by here, Slackers Medical Center, register to win those tickets as we get Rock the Mic 2021 underway. We'll also listen to some of our finalists. They're going to join us here on the Blitz coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Jane Slater from the NFL Network. She will join us coming up next here on the Blitz. You know, it's cold outside today, and it's going to get cold. We're going to have those cold days. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need that winter gear. You might need it today. You might need it next week. You need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club down on San Pedro, because Sam has his winter line on display right now in his showroom. Jackets, coats, hoodies, half zips, beanies, all the big name brands. He's got North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Port Authority, just to name a few. And he's got plenty in stock. He's got also the largest selection of caps, including the popular Richardson style cap in stock. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. And not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big, and all items do come with a warranty. You can call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go down and see them in that showroom down on San Pedro. It's about a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. Check the website, samsembroidery.com. That's samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club. Jane Slater joins us next right after Sports Center from James Fletcher.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Taking a look at today's action, just because I'm interested in this story. Odell Beckham Jr. is not with the Browns right now. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski told players that Odell is essentially not on the team right now. This according to Mike Silver of the NFL Network. In other NFL news, Cowboys rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was named the Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC after his 11-tackle, 4-tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit performance in the Cowboys' win over the Vikings on Sunday night. In other NFL news, the Houston Texans cut starting cornerback Vernon Hargreaves today, who played in 8 games and started 5, picking off a pass, defending 3, and combining for 27 tackles on the season. He was a former first-round pick in 2016. In Major League Baseball, the Astros' season came to an end as they fell to the Atlanta Braves, who were the World Series champs, after beating Houston 7-0 in Game 6, taking that series 4-2. Jorge Soler was named the World Series MVP. Astros owner Jim Crane says that he began working on an extension with manager Dusty Baker. Finally, in the NBA, the Spurs return to action as they take on the Mavericks here at the AT&T Center with tip-off set for 7:30. Game Night San Antonio gets you ready for it at 6:30 with Joe Reinagle. I'm James Fletcher.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. So why fight? Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude, with Polling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the DivorceDude.com can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Our favorite season of the year at Diamonds Direct is right around the corner, and we can't wait to show you what we've got ready. Our showcases are filled with the best selection ever of exquisite jewelry. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, all the newest fashion jewelry, as well as those time-tested classics. We've carefully priced everything to ensure you get the guaranteed best value, regardless of your budget. And over the past few months, we've expanded our loose diamond selection, adding a special collection of large, rare diamonds, 3 carats and up. Rounds, princess cuts, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, perfect for that holiday diamond upgrade. We've also made arrangements with our premier designers to bring you jewelry you won't be able to find at other stores. Unique, one-of-a-kind, fashion-forward pieces she's going to love. So the stage is set at Diamonds Direct as we anticipate an exciting and fun holiday season, with even more surprises coming in the weeks ahead. Make this upcoming holiday the most memorable ever, with help from your friends at Diamonds Direct. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
This is Jerry Jones, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minnick. We're live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, their medical center location. Come by, see us at 7 o'clock tonight. Somebody is going to win Cowboys-Falcons tickets. So come by, see us, register to win those tickets. We will give them away at 7 o'clock at the end of the show. Let's talk some Cowboys now. Jane Slater from the NFL Network joins us now on the Blitz. Interesting day up there at the Star on the injury front. I heard Mike McCarthy say it's unlikely that Tyron Smith plays this week. How did the Cowboys shuffle the offensive line?
Well, we'd love to know that, Jason, but as he stated up there on the podium, he is not going to be sharing that, giving themselves a little bit of a competitive advantage. And normally I'd be able to say, here, I think this is what's going to happen, but there's some options here. They could either keep Terrence Steele at right tackle, move over Lyle Collins to left tackle. They could choose to move him back over to right tackle, and then you could choose to put Tyan Secchi over there at left, or you could start shuffling around your center position. So this is where it's going to get a little bit of musical chairs, but I think what makes the most sense is just sticking Lyle in at left, because he's actually played that in college. But again, I've been told they really like Tyan Secchi there as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
It is. And again, I'm thinking about this week, but then, down the road, bone spurs don't go away. It's nothing that couple of days, couple of weeks off is going to make that go away until he gets it fixed. So, what's going to be different this week versus the Atlanta game in 2 weeks? If they just got to figure out some good padding for it to make it somewhat comfortable, I don't know unless he goes and gets some surgery.
Well, there's some thought that this has actually been a lingering thing, and this is connected with I think it's a high ankle sprain is what they're talking about. So I think they're still in this kind of wait and see thing, and they're hoping with maybe a little bit of rest. But I don't anticipate seeing him even back after possibly the Falcons game. So maybe it's closer to, the Thanksgiving game. I think it's, again, still wait and see approach, but it doesn't sound like this is just a 1 week thing. So we'll kind of see how this thing goes.
Interesting. Jane Slater from the NFL Network joining us here on the Blitz. Dak Prescott goes through practice today after missing the Minnesota game. Do you expect him to miss another one, or was that just 2 weeks is enough? Get back out there and play.
Great question. I don't even think they know at this point, to be completely honest with you. Given that they were able to get by in Minnesota, I had argued that sit him in Minnesota, win or lose, get him some extra rest. But if you're able to beat Minnesota with Cooper, I think the Broncos at home without a guy like Von Miller is a completely winnable game without him. And why not give yourself some quarterback depth? We certainly saw that with the Eagles when they made their run for the Super Bowl. They had Nick Foles, they had Carson Wentz there. Giving Cooper some meaningful playing time would be a good thing. And if he was able to be that effective on the road with that crowd, I think he can be just as effective against the Broncos. And then you're giving him yet another week to rest We saw him at practice day just doing very light throwing, but again, we saw that from most of the team because it was such a quick turn. Well, it was a late turnaround, so to speak, with the Minnesota game. Today, they spent a lot of time, Mike said, working on the video because they haven't played the Broncos since 2017. It's what they consider an uncommon opponent. So they focused more on the video, and then tomorrow is probably a better indication of where all of these guys are at injury-wise.
You know, and the other part that I was thinking about, if you let Dak rest this week against the Broncos, one, you've got a little bit more confidence in Cooper Rush, at least the fan base should after what he did against Minnesota. But if you're going to lose one, you lose one to an AFC team. And, you know, and so that one isn't as costly of a loss when you're losing to an AFC team. But again, Denver without Von Miller, even with Von Miller, they should be able to run the ball. And I got to admit, Cooper Rush proved me wrong. I had zero confidence in him when I saw he was going to end up playing in that game. And I appreciated his poise. He was calm. He said after the game he looked like he belonged. And during the game, he looked like he belonged. He was a lot more comfortable looking and effective than I thought he was capable of being.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the big thing, too, is, you know, last year I had said it would have been very helpful to have guys like Dak Prescott on the headset. When we saw guys going down on the offensive line or linebacker group, Sean Lee, Travis Frederick, and Tyron Smith would typically be on the headsets. And I think having Dak on the sidelines really, really helped Cooper Rush. But also, these guys have been such a fan of Cooper. In fact, when Cooper got cut, you know, I'd reached out and some people, you know, they even though he'd kind of struggled there for a bit, you know, he came out strong the first 2 years in the preseason, I remember. And then it's like he started to taper off in camp. And then when they cut Garrett, I made another call to somebody who had been on the previous staff. And I said, what do you think of the call? And they said, absolutely. Cooper's a good quarterback. He's a good backup. I didn't fully believe them. I didn't have a lot of faith in it based on what my eyes had shown me at training camp. But this Cowboys team this year, I was talking about this to somebody else. I said, it just feels like last year, everything that could go wrong did, and everything that can go right has this year. I mean, think of all the injuries they've had, the substitutions. Terrence still did such a good job on the offensive line that we're talking about Lell not even getting his job back at this point. You know, the fact that you've got Jaron Kearse now that's wearing the green dot, essentially calling the plays for you, freeing up Micah. And, you know, that used to be something that we saw from Leighton Vander Esch or that we saw from Jalen Smith. So all of these guys just stepping up in different ways this year. It's been fascinating to watch. And then if you just look at the schedule, Jason, this is the other thing I was talking to people about. I said, you're facing a Broncos team without Von Miller. That was probably one of the toughest aspects of that group. Then we're looking at the Raiders. You know, you're missing your wide receiver, the head coach. Now, granted, they've won 2 in a row, but you've got them. The Falcons don't have Calvin Ridley. And then the Saints, when you face them, I just had that game. And while Trevor, I thought did a good job against a really, really tough Tampa Bay Bucks defense, you also don't have Michael Thomas. And again, they haven't had Michael Thomas all season, but it could have been a lot worse. And so given the fact they've played the way that they have against some of these really, really tough teams, some of these lingering teams, it feels like they're catching breaks here, which is crazy to me. And then with this Aaron Rodgers thing, you know, is the league going to penalize him in some way? Because even though the team says they knew that he was unvaccinated, and then you're hearing these reports that he had been violating rules all over the place, is that going to cost them some games? Does that affect you in terms of, you know, seating and standings and home field? It's fascinating. All of it is. So
it really is. Yeah. And you've just kind of hit some of the bullet points I want to get to, and we'll get to Rodgers because I'm just curious there. But I want to go back to Kearse with the green dot. And I saw it was Ryan Clark on ESPN, the first person I saw talking about it. I didn't even notice it during the game. I don't know how many people actually did. But Micah Parsons played his best game as a pro, and they took that off of his plate, and he ends up getting Player of the Week awards for what he did in Minnesota. I was surprised, though, it went to Kearse. Is that because of his long relationship and understanding what Dan Quinn is looking for?
100%. And as Mike McCarthy was talking about it today, he's a really great communicator. So that is important when you're getting the calls out and you're getting guys lined up on the defensive side of the ball. And so, yeah, I thought that was, again, it just goes back to what I've seen from Dan Quinn all year. He just really plays to the strengths of his guys and puts guys in position to succeed. It doesn't feel, in the past, I would see this, this franchise award veteran players certain roles that perhaps they didn't deserve or they shouldn't have. And we're just not seeing that with this group right now.
It's incredible to see in this starting again. Cooper Rush gets all the accolades coming his way because I don't think many outside of that locker room had any confidence in him. And again, because, the quarterback is the most important position. And you get an Aaron Rodgers who indicated he was vaccinated, although he never actually said that. He said he was immunized. And we all took
Semantics,
that as,
Jason.
yeah, he didn't lie to us, but I think he, wink, wink. It's the most important position, and he's now going to be out. We'll see what Love can do and seeing what Cooper did and what Mike White was able to do with the Jets. I mean, I'm not saying that Green Bay has no chance, but you're up there, talking to all the different NFL media types. What was the reaction when news started breaking that Aaron Rodgers made the COVID list and he's unvaccinated?
Honestly, it wasn't really registering at the time when we were up there, but right as I had started talking about it with like Brad Sham and Christy Scales and Babe Loffenberg, who were sitting around me. And then I did ask the question of Mike McCarthy. In other words, there was initially some concern that maybe the team didn't know that he was actually not vaccinated. But of course, when he goes on, the 10 days, that means you are an unvaccinated player. But then when the media was coming out and saying, well, we've, kind of pointing fingers, well, we've seen him, operating as if he's unvaccinated, I think that's when it sort of opened up a little bit of a can of worms. Matt LaFleur basically came out and said, though, that he felt good about the way that they had handled, vaccinated, unvaccinated players. It doesn't sound like there's been, at least by league standards and the team standards that I don't know. I don't want to walk into this one, honestly, because it is so politically charged. But I did ask the question just from a football competitive standpoint to Mike McCarthy, how careful are you guys being with this? Because look at the New York Giants. I mean, Joe Judge was outside the building doing interviews today because so many players had caught COVID. Now you're dealing with the fact that you're facing the Kansas City Chiefs if you're the Packers and you don't have your starting quarterback. It essentially becomes a situation where you're hurting your team competitively. And so even Mike McCarthy said, even if a guy has a runny nose, we're on it. I'm paraphrasing there. But
sure,
in the spirit of talking about it from that aspect, because of what it costs you as a team, then I think, it merits a football question. But I think this is such a politically charged that I don't like to jump in this and give my opinion on it. I'm vaccinated. I'll just go ahead and say that. I have to be vaccinated to work for the NFL Network, and I have to get tested once a week. It's part of our protocol.
And I had to, show my vaccination card to go to training camp in Oxnard, as did you, which makes me, there's no way that a player didn't have to show a card. The Packers couldn't have been surprised one way or another. Jane Slater from the NFL Network joining us here on the Blitz. Health-wise, it seems like, we talked about Tyron and obviously Dak. Diggs looks like he's okay with that ankle injury suffered late in the game against Minnesota, and Teddy Bridgewater looks like one that could throw a pick six or two. So Diggs must be licking his chops after having that interception streak snapped.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think these guys necessarily care about streaks as long as they're winning, right?
Yep. Yeah, although I think Diggs liked that one. Just talking to him, I think he liked that one.
Yeah, of course he did. But, again, I think if they had walked away, they'd lost, and he, broke up the streak, that's fine. But what I love about these guys is how selfless they're playing. And at this point, it's as long as you walk away with the W, one that so many didn't think they'd get, that's a win.
Jane Slater from the NFL Network, new owner of all kinds of Yeti stuff. That was quite the gift package that you tweeted about. I'm jealous.
Nice little haul-in, right? I got a message from them. They said, "Do you like Yeti?" I said, "Of course I do." Who doesn't?
Exactly. I didn't know they made suitcases though.
Yeah, they just got into luggage. So they sent me one of those. I was like, man, great timing.
Well, for somebody that travels a lot, you certainly need it. Jane, always appreciate the time. We'll talk next week.
You too. Have a good week. Bye, guys.
Jane Slater from the NFL Network. Make sure you're following her on Twitter @SlaterNFL. She's on a bunch of podcasts, and obviously you can watch her on the NFL Network. Interesting times in the NFL and for the Cowboys. What she said there about Tyron Smith, maybe not being able to go for quite some time. Dude hadn't played a full season in a long time. We've said many times it's not if he gets hurt, it's when he gets hurt and how long is he out when he does get hurt. And it could be more than 1 week with Tyron Smith. We'll talk about that and more coming up. We'll talk Joe Reinagle and the Spurs coming up at 6:30 on Game Night San Antonio. Joe Reinagle from Ken's 5 as the Spurs have the Mavs in town tonight down at the AT&T Center. You know, if you're going to fire up the grill this weekend, you need to get into Tri-County Meat Market because that great meal starts with great meat. And if you came out and saw us yesterday when we were doing our show live at the Huebner Road location, you saw and tasted a lot of the great meat they have at Tri-County Meat Market and the grilling demonstration that we were seeing. And what's great about Tri-County is they're locally owned. They're full service. It's a family business. So everything in there, has been carefully selected to be on that in that store, in those display cases. What they have, the select certified prime Angus beef cuts, the Wagyu upper choice. They've got the beef, the chicken, the pork, the fajitas, poppers, pre-seasoned meats ready to go. They even have their own homegrown Wagyu. You talk about farm to fork, it doesn't get more fresh than that. And then what you're going to get at Tri-County Meat Market, they've got that great pick 5 for $25, and we're officially in November. You got to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner. Tri-County gets their turkeys in from Barber Farms in Colorado. These are fresh, all-natural turkeys, never frozen, and they're anywhere from 8 to 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number of them, so you have to reserve your turkey before they sell out, and they sell out every year. Pre-order your turkeys and pies from the Unlimited Cheesecake Bakery. You can do that now at either Tri-County Meat Market location, the one on Huebner or the one on Ralph Fair Road, or go to the website, tricountymeat.com.
Get the latest scores and more from high school football online anytime at 210varsity.com. Sponsored by the San Antonio Express News, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Injuries do happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. No reason to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com, or you can schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490, 804-5490, or online, TSAOG.com.
I'm Dr. Torres with the Institute for Functional Health, San Antonio's original holistic health clinic. Holistic does not mean complementary or alternative. It means we look at the whole picture. We've changed thousands of lives, and your overall health is our passion.
I no longer have to take sleeping pills, no blood pressure medication, or cholesterol pills. My insurance changed from high risk to standard.
I take 0 medications and said goodbye to sinus infections. I finally feel normal.
I no longer have anxiety attacks and have stopped taking pre-diabetic medication and sleeping pills.
I've lost 30 pounds, have more energy than ever before, have no pain, and my labs are perfect.
When things seem out of control, the one thing that we can control is your health. You will have a customized doctor-supervised wellness plan that gets to the root of the problem instead of masking symptoms. You get results, not refills. At the Institute for Functional Health, your overall health is our passion. Call 210-468-1891 for your free consultation. 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
It's that time of year again when Smoky Mo's Barbecue is gearing up to smoke Thanksgiving turkeys for our neighbors in the San Antonio area. Each turkey will be made using our secret rub and smoked to perfection in-house. You can buy it solo or with our feast that includes sweet potato casserole, cornbread dressing, green bean casserole, and a delicious pumpkin pie from Tootie Pies. Pre-order at SmokyMo'sBarbecue.com or by calling your store. Don't dawdle. We sell out every year. Happy Smoked Turkey Day, y'all, from Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
From city streets to back roads. From road warrior to carpooler. There are some things you can always count on. Like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate, with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Who's ready to play some ball?
Friday nights under the lights. Don't miss the high school football game of the week. Powered by Hill Electric. This Friday on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Carl Schoening on your home for Texas Rangers baseball. San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We're at the Medical Center location on Fredericksburg. It's Rock the Mic 2021. In the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to visit with some of our contestants. I see one now at the bar. He's just staring at me. I wish he had a drink in his hand and would relax. But we're going to talk to him coming up. 3 other contestants, although from what I understand, traffic sucks. You get a little rain in San Antonio, and traffic gets really bad. I didn't realize it was going to get this cold, this wet today. Not today. Was it supposed to happen later today, though? Not when it did. Greg Shelton, I don't watch the weather. I mean, I knew there was a cold front coming. I didn't know it was going to happen today. Caught me off guard. But one of the rules in radio is you get there early. You know what time you're supposed to be there. And you account for things like traffic. So the dude sitting at the bar, he's one of 4 that's coming on with us today. And all 4 have confirmed they were coming, but only 1 has showed up. If you're in your car listening right now and you're getting nervous, you should be. You really, I'm kidding. We understand. Sometimes that's what happens, right? I mean, traffic is what it is, and we certainly know that. But whether you're in traffic, not in traffic, you want to get over here to Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar because, well, we've got Cowboys tickets to give away, Cowboys-Falcons tickets that we will give away at 7 o'clock tonight. You have to be here present to register to win if you're hungry. It's not really a food truck. They're calling it a food pop-up. But they are cooking outside, and the menu looks good. The food that keeps coming by me looks fantastic as I get hungrier and hungrier the later we go. Greg Shelton had some great fries, and he offered me some, 20 minutes ago. It was in the middle of a segment, obviously. We get to the commercial break where I could get one, and they're all gone. That's typical of Greg Shelton. Another lesson in radio is eat before you show up and go to work. That's part of the deal. But come by and see us here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. See a guy here who is all Rangered out. Got a Ranger shirt on, got a Texas Rangers hat on. The day after the World Series, he's supporting the other team in Texas. And I'm happy that Ron Washington finally got a ring. I mean, that guy came so close when he was managing the Texas Rangers. And you talk about a baseball lifer. I like Ron Washington. Met him a number of times. That is a good dude. I am glad he finally got himself a World Series ring. And it was an incredible World Series for the Atlanta Braves. As a Houston Astro fan, it sucked. But I wasn't devastated when it was over. About 10 minutes after the game was over, I turned to my wife and I said, well, that saves us about $300 worth of new gear that I was about to go buy. I don't know why. It's because I just think the Atlanta Braves were the better team in this series. They had better pitching. They had certainly better hitting. But overall, they were the better team. I mean, last night in a closeout game at home, there was zero drama. Zero. And you look at this whole World Series kind of felt that way. Was there any game that you were really, I mean, just it seemed like every game was that way. I mean, I know in Game 5 when Atlanta had a chance to close it out at home, they hit the grand slam in the first inning, and then the Astros charged back. And, mentally, I didn't know if they were going to be able to recover from that. So I was so certain that there was going to be a Game 7 tonight, that the Astros could carry some momentum, even with the travel day in there, into Game 6 and at least force a Game 7. That's why I was okay with Dusty Baker deciding to go with a young pitcher on short rest. Because for the Astros, the pitching, it wasn't really about that. It was about their bats. And the Atlanta Braves had far better pitching. And I'm happy for their lifelong manager or lifetime. I mean, that's a baseball lifer who's kind of analytics, kind of old school. I don't know that I would have pulled the pitcher when they did last night. There are a lot of decision making with pitchers and whatnot that I don't understand in today's world of baseball. Well, we don't want a pitcher to see him 3 times. That third time's not good. But if you're going with relief pitchers every game, now those hitters are seeing that same dude 6 or 7 times, 8 times. I mean, there's parts of that I don't quite understand. I'm disappointed that the Astros lost. When they lost to the Washington Nationals a couple years ago in the World Series, I was devastated for 3 days. It took a couple of days to get over it. This year is 10 minutes. And I appreciate the Astros hate that is still alive. I heard from so many people last night. I felt like everybody that had my phone number that doesn't like the Astros texted me last night to celebrate Atlanta winning. And they weren't Braves fans. They were just anti-Astro. What they don't realize, as a Cowboy fan, I'm used to the hate. As a Longhorn fan, I'm used to the hate. Embrace the hate. I'm good with it. I heard from a dude from high school. I didn't even know this guy had my number. I hadn't talked to him in years. And he texted me a whole bunch of F words, and Astros was mixed in there. And I all right, dude, I don't even know who he's a fan of. Clearly, not the Houston Astros. I mean, clearly, not the Houston Astros. And typically speaking, that would bother me. But it didn't last night. I mean, I understand. I mean, the Astros lost to the better team in the World Series. Congrats to the Atlanta Braves. And the year that they had, everything with Atlanta is such a great story. The, calendar year in which the great Hank Aaron passes away. They lose an all-star game. They lose one of the best players in baseball to injury. They go out and make trades, and they go on this incredible run, and they get to the World Series. I mean, that was a great run. I hope that wasn't the last time that we saw Carlos Correa in an Astros uniform, but I'm guessing it is. And the way he played in the World Series, I don't know how you give him a 10-year, $300 million plus contract. That's not my money. Give it to him. Keep him around. But they didn't keep George Springer. I didn't know how the Astros would handle that. You know what they did? They went to the World Series. I mean, they've got a good farm. They certainly have interesting front office types, and I say that because there was some change there. I'm curious if Dusty Baker comes back. I was kind of hoping he'd get a chance to get a ring, but I was happy for Ron Washington getting one last night. It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. We are live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Medical Center location. Rock the Mic brought to you in part by Jim Beam. We're going to talk to some of our Rock the Mic contestants coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll also get you ready for Spurs Mavs at 6:30. Game night San Antonio. Joe Reinagle from Ken's TV will join us. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, because of course you do. Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online. Go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available. They offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential, and they're open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're down in Corpus, in the Valley, up in Dallas, anywhere in between, license number 149, Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Get your tailgating started? Slap on the face paint and wear your favorite jersey. It's college football time. It's America's fall ritual every Saturday.
This Saturday, the Oregon Ducks, who are ranked 4th in the initial college football playoff rankings, hit the road to take on the Washington Huskies. 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 kickoff.
Get your college game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Our favorite season of the year at Diamonds Direct is right around the corner, and we can't wait to show you what we've got ready. Our showcases are filled with the best selection ever of exquisite jewelry. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, all the newest fashion jewelry, as well as those time-tested classics. We've carefully priced everything to ensure you get the guaranteed best value, regardless of your budget. And over the past few months, we've expanded our loose diamond selection, adding a special collection of large, rare diamonds, 3 carats and up. Rounds, princess cuts, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, perfect for that holiday diamond upgrade. We've also made arrangements with our premier designers to bring you jewelry you won't be able to find at other stores. Unique, one-of-a-kind, fashion-forward pieces she's going to love. So the stage is set at Diamonds Direct as we anticipate an exciting and fun holiday season, with even more surprises coming in the weeks ahead. Make this upcoming holiday the most memorable ever, with help from your friends at Diamonds Direct. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure, whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We are at the Medical Center location today. We're going to be here till 7 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock, we will give away tickets to go see the Cowboys take on the Atlanta Falcons in 2 weeks up there at Jerry World. If you want to win those tickets, you got to come by here at Slackers and register to win. And we're here for Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you in part by Jim Beam. Tomorrow night, we're going to be at the Nacogdoches location for Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We like to call it Slackadoches. We'll be out there tomorrow 4 to 7 as we start rolling in our contestants that have made the Dirty Dozen plus one. Apparently we can't add. There's 13 in the final 12 because the contestants were just that good. We just added an extra one. We got that Jim Beam wild card, and we're putting it to good use. Michael Jimenez, now host a halftime from noon to 2, is a Rock the Mic champion that is now full-time with us in a part-time basis with San Antonio Sports Star. You're right here. Pull that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth there. You won this. You've gone through this gamut before.
Yeah, it's a marathon, man. I know we have Robert Silva who's going to be joining us in a minute or so, but it's a marathon, man. It's all about getting votes at this point, getting people to vote for you, making the final four. but it's fun. It's annoying because you're going to annoy a lot of people. You're going to annoy a lot of people trying to get them to go on to sasportstar.com, vote for you, not only once, not twice, not 3 times, but on a daily basis.
And the voting does matter. As we've done this now for many, many years, you realize that we can get you into the top 12. But what we think doesn't matter once it goes to the vote. And then gets to the top 4, and then we pick from there. And so the first of many contestants that you're going to hear on the radio over the next several days, Robert Silva. I don't know if it's good or bad, dude, that you're going first.
I'll take it.
You'll take it. Now, tell me about your getup. Dude, the Astros just lost. It's not even 24 hours old, and you're wearing a Ranger shirt and a Rangers hat. I know we're the home of the Texas Rangers, but it's like you're kicking me below the belt right now, just kind of rubbing it in after my Astros lost.
Well, I am a Nolan Ryan fan. First game I ever went to was at Ranger Stadium. Saw him struck out Cecil Fielder. So I ride and die with that man. I take 2 Advils in the morning, like he says, and that's why I love the man.
Nolan Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, played for the Astros for many, many seasons.
He did. His jersey's
so that's not an
too.
excuse right there.
I just he loves losers. But you know what, though? There was a time 10 years ago that they were losing in the World Series just like the Astros did, although they took it out to the final strike, not necessarily, getting blown out in an elimination game at home. Mm-hmm. At least there was drama in those losses, which probably made it sting a little more.
Well, my therapist says I'll get over it once I quit looking at the man that should not be named that did not make that catch. I'll finally get over it once his career is over.
Once his career is over.
I should not name that guy.
Were you happy for Ron Washington last night?
I was very happy for him. He's such a good man, and it was good to see him get one.
All right, so I have not gone through, for a reason, to look at everybody's videos yet. I didn't want to prejudge anybody before they were coming on the Blitz, and I don't like going to work anymore at the station, so I wasn't there when they picked the 12. So I've not seen your video. Tell me what your video was about.
Basically, in my video, I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys have an opportunity to become a dynasty in their own division, like the way the Patriots were in their division. And they've got the contracts locked up. They've got the personnel. They've got the fantastic professional, awesome players on offense and defense. And if they just can do that, it's just going to create more chances to go to the Super Bowl and get us back to Glory Road.
Silva, you completely buried the lead here. Your video made us laugh so hard, okay? Because we reviewed dozens of videos out there, and yours started out with you on a golf cart in a sand trap just spinning around, and then you jump off the cart and give your take. Epic.
Yeah, that took some skills because you got to pop out of the sand bunker, you got to lower it down, and then you got to hit the brakes and then jump out and then roll right into my piece. What I was going to say.
All right, so as I hear that, my first question is, what course did you do this on?
That was the Palmer course. I work at La Cantera, so I work Palmer and Resort.
All right, so see, now this is good information to know because you can be bribed, or I can be bribed. So you work.
I can too.
Yeah, Rudy J is a golfer. So you work at the golf course.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a muni,
and it's not. No, it's the Palmer course. Mm-hmm. So I guess whatever damage you might have done to that trap, you then had to go repair. Mm-hmm. So it was good to do.
Yeah, only one take, by the way.
Only one
take. No way, man.
From my mouth to God, from God's mouth to my ears.
Only one take got submitted.
I mean, he was spinning around in that sand trap, and we're like, what the heck is going on? Mm-hmm. And then he pops out of the sand trap, jumps out of the cart, starts giving his take about the Patriots. About the Cowboys being the Patriots. Yeah. It's good times, man. It was amazing.
All right. So you've got Mr. Silva here. When you go to sasportstar.com and you want to vote, you look for that video. Congratulations, sir, for making it this far. Now you got to get out and you've got to rock the vote for Rock the Mic. Robert Silva, the first contestant to come on, which is always the toughest. It really is. It's always the toughest. Appreciate it. Lose the headsets. We got to do a quick transition here. It's like a pit stop in NASCAR. Not that I know anything about pit stops in NASCAR, nor can I read Rob's writing. Our next contestant is Roger
Gavro.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what they told me when I was born. So,
I don't know if that's what is written here. I'm glad I got Roger, and only because you came and introduced yourself earlier today. But Rob Thompson missed his colleague. That dude should be a doctor.
Well, you know what? Chicken scratches are okay in this day and age, aren't they?
All right. So, Roger, same thing. I haven't seen anybody's videos, and that is by design. Tell me about your video. And I'm doing this now so when people go to vote, they'll recognize what you're saying here in association with that video.
Absolutely. Well, I was talking about Jeff Traylor and his contract renewal, actually.
All right.
And the excitement that's going on with that, because it's one of the best things that could have happened for San Antonio and for UTSA football. Here's a guy who has taken a program that's still, when you look at 11 years, I mean, it's still somewhat in its infancy when you consider all the other programs out there.
Sure.
And, a week ago, all of us were nervous he was going to leave.
Ooh, I thought he was gone.
Going to Tech, right?
I was not nervous that he was going to leave. I was, and I'm glad I'm wrong. And I told this to Jeff Traylor on Monday when he joins us on the Blitz. I thought he was gone. I wasn't nervous he might leave. I thought he was gone.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the thing that impressed me was that the entire staff and athletic department at UTSA stepped up to the plate, and they did what needed to be done to be able to keep him here. I sat there and I thought, originally I was going to do a video pleading him to stay, because I thought, you've already built a program. You're going to continue to build a program. We're going to take this thing as far as you can go. Do you want to be the next Cliff Kingsbury? Or maybe later on you want to build a program and be Bear Bryant. You want a reputation that's going to go ahead and bring you out. And so I applaud the athletic department. I applaud all of the executives over at UTSA for getting it done.
Roger, I would say being the next Cliff Kingsbury is not bad.
It's not bad.
You get fired from Texas Tech and you land in the NFL.
You got a cushy job. You got a cushy job.
House
That's not a bad job.
Draft. I mean, and look at Cliff. I mean, Cliff does not live a bad life.
No, I'd sit in front of that fireplace every day of my life if I could.
Absolutely. So, are you a UTSA football fan, or like an alumni, or just you saw what was going on and you're kind of catching that UTSA fever?
Yeah, mostly saw what was going on. I actually was at the inaugural game, the very first season.
Okay.
And of course the atmosphere, the excitement, everything about the new program was awesome. And you couldn't wait to see where they were going to go, what they were going to do. And so to see the progress they've made and the growth that they've made within that program, all of a sudden now here they are at number 16 in the nation. Who could have thought that 5 years ago even?
Were you pissed last night that they didn't get included in the CFP playoff poll?
I can't say that I was pissed.
Good. You're a smart man.
I can't say that. But I think that, hey, in due time, they're going to be able to reach those levels. It's just going to, sometimes it takes a little time, a little bit more recognition.
Now, the great part of your video, and I'm glad that you changed your mind about it, because you were emphatic that Traylor was staying.
Yes.
As Jason said, we were all worried, but you were 100% certain in your video that he was going to stay. Why were you so certain?
Well, I'll tell you something. First of all, earlier in the day, I was listening to the show. I was listening to the Blitz, and Jason was talking about the signing, and I thought, well, obviously that was on my mind through the rest of the day. The night before, was Halloween, right? So my girlfriend had asked me to go out to 54th Street with her and go have a couple of drinks, which I did. And by the time we got back, I didn't even realize that I hadn't even put my submission in yet. So I was standing in her apartment when I filmed that, trying to figure out what the heck was I going to say. I had about 5 minutes to get it done before midnight. And so, yeah, so
I'm just visualizing, you're out at the bar, you go back to your girlfriend's house, you've been drinking, certain things are happening, but you say, hang on, honey, I got to do this first. And when you said, I need to record a video, and that's not what you're thinking, and you submit, I appreciate that, my friend.
Well,
I appreciate it, because the visual there is, oh, no. Although, I need you to hold the camera.
Amazing. Well, unfortunately, if I wanted her to hold the camera, she probably wouldn't have, but that's all right.
Well, that goes without saying. That's certainly understandable. Roger, your last name again is?
Gavro, yeah. Gavro. Like Gavrow, if you were going to pronounce it, I guess. But,
okay, because Rob's got like 19 letters here. I thought you were Polish coming in here.
Are there any vowels?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Go find Roger's video. And if you like what you heard, make sure you vote for Roger, not just now, but every day as we continue Rock the Mic. You can find all those
vote
videos
for me
at SASportsStar.com. ESPN.com. Roger, appreciate it as we roll through our contestants. We've got 4 here. We'll have 4 tomorrow at the Slackers Nacogdoches location. And as the next contestant is joining us, pull your microphone down or up a little bit. There you go. Tell me your name. All right, first rule of radio is you got to learn how to turn on the on button. See that little on button right there? That is Rob Thompson's fault, not yours. Hit that button. Now tell me your name, because I would say your name, except for Rob Thompson. Second rule of radio, don't take the card from the host's hand as he's about to read who is coming on.
My name's Jose Matos.
Jose Matos. All right, Jose, appreciate you coming out to Slackers. I hear traffic sucked, because I saw you just kind of walked in not long ago, right?
Yeah, traffic was terrible.
All right. What time are you told to be here?
6 o'clock.
Oh, so you made it just in time.
Yes, sir.
You made it. Who told you 6?
James Pledger.
James, I thought we were trying to get these people here at 5. Well, we'll deal with that later. If you're coming tomorrow, get there at 5 just to make sure. Jose, 4. Yeah, get here at 4. At 3:12. We want you here at 3:12 tomorrow.
That's what I did when I was doing Rock the Mic. When I was doing Rock the Mic, I was here early, man. The North Star location, everyone was setting up. And I was there. I was trying to make a point.
You were just trying to get liquid courage. We understand how that works. Jose, congrats on making it into this round.
Thank you.
Again, as I've told everybody, I've purposely not watched video so I don't prejudge anybody.
Okay.
That and I was too lazy to go to the meeting at the office when we selected the 12, right? But tell me about your video, because I want you to describe it so when people go to sasportstar.com to vote, they'll recognize your video and what you're talking about now.
Definitely. So my video was basically on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have a huge decision to make, and that's, are they going to pay quarterback Baker Mayfield? It's a very big decision. The quarterback position is huge for them. So essentially, I'm pretty much telling people it's the time to move on already.
Are you a Browns fan?
I'm not a Browns fan, actually.
Why would you move on from Baker Mayfield?
Why would I move on from Baker Mayfield? So you could literally tell. So it's the eyeball test, right? You can literally tell when you put them up against other players like a Herbert, a Murray, a Mahomes, or a Josh Allen. You can clearly tell that the coaching staff doesn't trust Baker Mayfield, and he looks a lot different than those quarterbacks. Of course, there's a lot of physical traits. It's not his fault, but
as a short guy,
yeah, of course,
I root for Baker Mayfield.
You can't control that. The thing is, so he didn't get off on the right foot. The cockiness thing didn't help him out. He didn't put in the work.
A rich kid from Austin.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, but again, number 1 overall draft pick. I mean, and the GM and the coach aren't the ones that drafted him. Yeah. And I disagree with you here, Jose, because I look at Baker Mayfield and the gazillion quarterbacks that Cleveland has had.
Yes.
They finally have something they could work with. And they're an offense built around the run game.
Absolutely.
When you look at Chubb and Hunt and that offensive line, you don't need a quarterback like Josh Allen or a Dak Prescott or a Patrick Mahomes, because you need to run the ball. You need somebody that can be effective throwing when it matters. And we've seen times when Baker has they had a 4-touchdown game last year, because I was playing him in fantasy football that Sunday and got my ass kicked.
It's probably against the Jets.
Well, I mean, it's possible, but I don't know that I don't know that I'd move on from Baker, because you've got something you could work with. Would I give him a Josh Allen-like contract? No. And I don't think anybody would. But if he hit the free agent market, teams would scoop him up in a hurry, and then the Browns are starting over again. And that's the question you have to have. I mean, all the drama with OBJ right now and Odell's dad, I mean, that's going to end ugly. And that probably will make Baker a little bit better.
Of course. But here's the thing. I think at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to is how much he's going to want. Because, some people, overvalue themselves, right?
We all do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to blame him for getting the money, but here's the thing. He needs help. He needs to have that number 1 ranked offensive line. He needs to have those weapons. He needs to have 2 excellent running backs to be able to keep him afloat. Now, when he's had to come from behind, he struggled. He's lost the game. He struggled.
Well, true. And this year he's been playing hurt. It'd be curious to see what Baker gets.
Okay.
But you realize there's 20 dudes on this planet that are good quarterbacks.
Yes,
because there's like 12 teams in the NFL that have quarterbacks that suck. So you've got one that you could work with. I look at Kirk Cousins and the money that guy is making.
It's ridiculous.
And I think Baker is better. If you're Cleveland and you decide we're going to move on from Baker Mayfield, and so pretend you're in the front office, what quarterback that's going to be available are you targeting?
It's going to be tough, especially, from the college quarterback, crop that's coming out. No one's really standing out to you a lot. That's going to be a difficult decision. But here's the thing. Baker's just an average guy right now, and he is the third best quarterback. People said that Big Ben was the fourth best quarterback in that division, and he just lost to him. That offensive isn't moving right now, and I understand he's hurt, but it's the NFL. It's the moment. It's moments like that where it's just about playing uncomfortable, and you're not always going to be comfortable. You're not always going to have the running game working for you. You're not always going to have that perfect situation work for you where he needs to make those plays, and I failed to see that.
I see all those commercials. I don't think he could sell his house in Cleveland.
I don't think so either.
At home with Baker Mayfield.
He's got more commercials than wins right now.
Jose, congrats on making it this far. Appreciate you coming on and standing firm on your Baker take.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right. We're going to do a quick flip out. And our next contestant here as we continue Rock the Mic 2021. Again, go to sasportstar.com and vote. We've got 4 today that we're going to visit with. Joe Reinego from Ken's TV, not a Rock the Mic contestant, but he's going to join us at 6:30. We'll talk Spurs and Mavs. But right now, as we continue Rock the Mic 2021, our 4th contestant that we'll talk to today, and tomorrow we'll be at the Nacogdoches location, is Alex.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you later.
All right. Michael Jimenez, you won Rock the Mic. Can you read that?
Wow.
Does that say bye-bye?
It looks like alien handwriting.
Yeah, it might be. It might be
there's
from another
no way
galaxy.
that's an A. And the A's are different.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The second A and the fourth A.
Dude, it's Alex, man, congratulations on making it. I've actually known you for a really, really long time.
It's been a minute.
It's kind of scary that you've actually made it this far. It's one of the reasons why I should have gone into the room. But you've been in you've got an interesting life and in the sports business. But I'll ask like the other 3. Tell me about your video. What was on your video that got you to this point?
Well, I think what was interesting about it was I have a great son. He's 29 years old. He's the one that did. It's like I went from wearing Cowboys memorabilia, Cowboys jersey, spin around basically, went with the Ginobili jersey after that. So he's a great editor. So you guys need an editor.
You did
he's
TikTok?
probably going to be
you
your
did
man.
that TikTok thing?
Well, no, it was just I started out in a Prescott jersey. I'm pointing my thumbs at it, and then I was like, "No, let's talk about the Cowboys." Bam. It was a sweet little transition.
Yeah, that was the only one that we saw that had a TikTok type of transition. So the amount of expertise that came into that was actually pretty impressive.
I can't take credit for it, though. Like I said, it's my son Quentin. He's something else. So we just want to do something a little snazzy. I love sports. I mean, like you said earlier, like you alluded to, I've had a part of it one way or another, whether it was participating, playing, or just with friends or with sports memorabilia, which is another thing I think I could bring to the show is that I love horse racing. My dad turned me on to it. I can help you guys out with Breeders' Cup. So, I mean, I have a lot of things I think I can bring to the table. Plus, I just love sports.
Would you look at, since you're all Spursed out today?
Yeah, no bias there.
None whatsoever. The idea that the Spurs should tank this year for the lottery is a debate that we've had a lot. Michael Jimenez loves this debate and always wants to mess with the starting lineups. And I don't know if he's trying to win or trying to lose or just trying to piss people off. But when you look at this Spurs team, they're not a playoff team. They're certainly not a championship team. But what would make you happy? What would be, in your mind, a successful season for this Spurs team?
Well, I think you can't go wrong when you have Pop leading the ship. And I know he's lost a little step. It's not quite like what Landry did near the end. Combination of, picking poorly and just he seemed to have lost a step. I don't think you have that with Pop. I think the thing that we need to do is maybe make a move. I'd like to see Murray go. I mean, I know a lot of people love Murray. I love White better. I think if White was able to man the ship, if you could move Murray, if you could move another piece or two, maybe you go get a Ben Simmons. Some people think it's dumb. I think if anybody could fix his head, our team could do it. I've grown up in San Antonio all my life. I never thought we'd have 5 rings. I don't think anybody at this table thinks that. But look where we're at. I mean, we've won some championships. We've got a great front office still. I think you trust those guys to make the right moves.
But do you really want Ben Simmons?
They need to do something, Jason.
I mean, this is where I like Ben Simmons isn't the answer. Ben Simmons does what?
He rebounds. He assists.
It costs you. It costs you
scores
draft
points.
picks and current talent, and you're no closer to winning a title. You know, if you stay with what you have, develop these young guys, figure out can you build around them.
Yeah.
Save your draft picks when the NBA cycles, when the current really good teams in the West especially start to come down, and they will when that roller coaster happens. Will the Spurs be built up in position to take back over one of those top spots in the West? And you don't do that by giving up talent or draft picks for Ben Simmons, who is going to be gone in 4 years.
That's true, but here's the thing. I think kind of like what happened with Kawhi Leonard, where he kind of held our feet to the fire. We didn't have any choices. I mean, really, how many people
And
are
you don't
pounding
think
down the
Ben
door
would
for
do that?
Well, I'm talking about the front offices. They're not pounding down the door to get Ben Simmons. I mean, you're not going to give up, some of the guys like Wiseman and some draft capital. You might be able to give up a first-round pick in a couple of seconds. And look what we did with Chicago when we sent DeRozan. We wound up getting their first-round pick in a couple of seconds.
He's not going to go first in a couple of seconds.
Then he's going to be stuck like Chuck.
He wants what he wants, and he said they'll do that dance for a long time.
Let's see how long, this guy's doing this song and dance with his mental issues and not wanting to talk to them about his mental issues. I think he just wants out. And if we could make the right type of position ourselves with the right way, I don't want to give up a guy like Vassell, but, I think there's something that could be had there. And like I said, if any team can turn him around, I think the Spurs could.
All right, let's talk about Vassell, because this was the debate that Jason Minix and I had on air a couple of days ago. He believes that Derek White should be the starting shooting guard for the Spurs. I believe Devin Vassell should be the starting shooting guard and White come off the bench.
Yeah.
Which do you think?
This is going to sound crazy. I think White at point, and then you have Vassell at shooting guard. I think that works.
He's trying to meet us at the middle here.
Well, no, because Derek White was drafted as
what
a
are you doing
point
with
guard.
DeJounte?
So, like I said, to me, you jettison him. I think you have to trade him. I think you work out a couple of other pieces and move those. They need to do something with Thad Young also. So maybe you package together Thad Young, Murray, like I said, a first in a couple of seconds, and you make that move for Simmons. And if not Simmons, somebody else. But I think Derek White could do great. I'm with you. I'm on board with that. But why can't we have White starting at point and have Vassell at the two?
I look at, well,
that way you're both happy, right?
I'm trying, like you're a contestant right now at Rock the Mic. If you were just calling in the Blitz on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, I'd blow you up because that sounds great.
Yeah, but
you're an idiot because there's no way in hell another GM would do that.
Jason, this ain't the first time you thought I was an idiot. You remember when I said we were going to re-sign Kawhi Leonard during the summer? You about laughed me off the phone, and you know what? It was just to throw something against the wall to see if it sticks.
If you like idiotic radio, make sure you. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm kidding. But again, though, it's
a
got to
novel
make sense,
approach. Let's call it that
for both. I mean, I'm sure you'd love to offer somebody $200,000 for a nice house in the Dominion. And if you could find somebody that will do that, man, you call U-Haul and you get in there. It ain't happening.
Oh, I know. But like I said, to me, Maury's asking for the moon. He's not going to get it. Name a team that's
he's going to get something.
He is, but he's not going to get 2 or 3 first-round picks. That's insane.
He will.
He will.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Especially for a team that gets closer and closer to the title. We're up against the time wall. That is Alex, bye-bye. Bye-bye. You could vote for him
bye-bye.
at SASportsStar.com, although it might be bye-bye from this contest 6 minutes in. But at least you made it.
Exactly.
To the top 12.
To the dirty dozen, I'll take it.
There you go, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming by and having a good time. We'll talk some Spurs coming up with Joe Reinagel from Ken's 5 Spurs and Mavs as we get you ready for game night San Antonio. If you're near Fredericksburg, if you're near the medical center, come by and see us here at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Goes in about 30 minutes. We'll give away those tickets to go see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Atlanta Falcons up there in Jerry World. Again, Joe Reinagel from Ken's 5 joins us next. In San Antonio, I say this all the time, best place to go watch a game in San Antonio is the Rue Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. That's kind of my home away from home. They got those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around, and not only is it a great bar, but the food there is fantastic. If they weren't a bar, they would be a great restaurant. That kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day. Everything in there is made from scratch. They have about 15 different burgers on that menu. They've got great wraps. They've got a lot of fantastic appetizers like the Philly cheesesteak fries or the onion rings, and their wings. They've got the best wings in town and the biggest wings in town. They got all the beers, full bar. They got the game room, darts area, which is fantastic, indoor cornhole, and they've got happy hour every day from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. At the Roo Pub next to the Angry Elephant, they're at 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Let's get a Sports Center update with James Pledger.
Thanks a lot, Jason. We'll start where Dallas Cowboys rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was named the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week following his 11-tackle, 4-tackle for loss, and 1 quarterback hit performance against the Minnesota Vikings in that one Sunday night. The Houston Texans have cut cornerback Vernon Hargreaves today as the former 2016 first-round pick played 8 games this year, starting 5, picking off a pass, deflecting 3 others, and combined for 27 tackles on the year. The Houston Astros season came to an end as the Atlanta Braves are your World Series champs, beating the Astros 7-0 in Game 6 to take the series 4-2. Jorge Soldier was named the World Series MVP. The San Antonio Spurs return to action, looking to bounce back from their loss to the Pacers Monday as they are back home from their 3-game road trip to welcome the Dallas Mavericks into the AT&T Center tonight. The Spurs are 2-5, including a 104-99 loss to the Mavs to start this 3-game road trip. Tip-off is set for 7:30 tonight. And don't forget, Game Night San Antonio comes up next right here on the Blitz with Joe Reinagel from Kent's 5. San Antonio will be without big man Jakob Poeltl for tonight's game, who is in the health and safety protocols. But this year's first and second round picks, Josh Primo and Joe Wieskamp, will be available as they were recalled from the Austin Spurs. I'm James Pledger.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Pulling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Is your prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Hey, sports bettors, I'm talking to you. This is Rob Thompson here to tell you about my favorite sports book. That's BetUS. Football's here. You need to be playing it. It's been a great couple of weeks. Why not start now? Well, BetUS is the best place to start because they've been around for 25 years. That's the integrity I'm looking for with the longevity. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, you name it. They've got it. To join, it's so easy. Call today, 1-800-79-BET-US. Again, 1-800-79-BET-US. And when you dial it, remember this, KZDC. If you tell them KZDC, that's us, you're going to get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody does that. I bet at BetUS, so should you. I want you to join BetUS.com today. Call them right now. Start betting with America's favorite sportsbook. And remember to use KZDC for up to 200% in bonuses. BetUS.com. It's where the game begins.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. And the hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway. And neither should your roofer. Your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They are reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
This is The Blitz with Jason Minix and the brightest sports insiders. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray.
This is Keldon Johnson from the San Antonio Spurs. This is San Antonio Sports Star.
It's game night, San Antonio.
Spurs take on the Mavs tonight down at the AT&T Center. It is game night San Antonio here on The Blitz. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar in the Medical Center location over off Fredericksburg Road. Good place to come watch the Spurs game tonight, and also a great place to come in the next 30 minutes because we're going to give away those Dallas Cowboys tickets coming up at 7 o'clock at the end of the show. And, you know, a guy that works just down the street on Fredericksburg Road at 5400 Fredericksburg Road, our buddy Joe Reinigle from Ken's TV. Scares me that I remember the address from working there in the mid-90s. Joe, how's your Wednesday going?
Well, it's not bad. I'm upset, though. I can't get the Cowboys ticket. Come on, man. Stay there a little longer, and I'll be there.
If you get here by 7, you can win. Yeah, by 7. It is 6:35 right now. If you're at the office, which you probably aren't, you could get here just in time to register to win those tickets. And it's Cowboys-Falcons tickets, so you would go and have a good time.
Well, of course, that'll be a good game. Won't be a good game. The Cowboys will win, so everybody will be celebrating. So that'll be good. Yeah. No, that's good, man. Everybody needs to get on down there and win those tickets.
Absolutely. Joe, you look at the Spurs and the Mavs tonight, and I know it's a young season, small sample size to this point when you look at the San Antonio Spurs, and we know they're not going to be a great team. They're not going to be a good team. I got them at 33 to 35 wins, but they can't play like they did the other night against the Pacers and lose a game that they probably should win. What's your overall impression of the Spurs to this point in the year?
You know, I've enjoyed watching them play, and I think most people have enjoyed watching them play, and that's going to be what we need to take out of the season, because you're exactly right. They're going to have good games that they're not going to be able to get over the hump, and so that's going to be the problem. And we've seen that already, and a lot of close games early in the season, and these guys coming out, and it's, you know, they just can't quite find a way to win, and that's going to be the biggest lesson they need to learn. But here's what's going to happen. You know, these guys are new, right? Other teams have never seen this team currently assembled, you know, together. So it takes a little while. But what's going to happen is once there's some tape on these guys, teams are going to be able to figure them out and know their weaknesses. And it may get worse before it actually gets better. And by better, I mean another season or two playing together. So, but they're certainly fun to watch, man. They're athletic, they're young, and they just get after it out there for sure.
And one of the things that I've enjoyed with watching them is Greg Popovich has no choice but to leave young players out on the floor and make mistakes. There's no DeMar, Rudy, Patty, LaMarcus that is taking minutes, and you see the young talent on the bench losing their opportunities to develop. And I think I've been most impressed this year with the aggressive play from DeJounte Murray. We've seen it in flashes in the past, but especially the last couple of days, DeJounte's looking like he's the alpha dog on this team.
Well, and it's about time. You wanted to see that from him. Everybody was expecting that for, every year that went by. And I think with not having the guys that you mentioned there, he finally is getting an opportunity to shine and finally getting the opportunity to show that, I can be that closer. I can be the guy that you want the ball in his hands in the final seconds to take the game-winning shot. And so I think it's really been great for him, what has happened. And I think what else you're seeing, Jason, is it hasn't been so good for some others. And I think some of these guys, as good as they are with star power around them, they're not so good without it. And the one guy I'm looking at is Derek White. I mean, there'll be some games that he's fabulous, some games where, like the other night in Indiana, he doesn't do anything. And so, you wonder about some of those guys that are just better role players with stars around them than they are becoming stars. So that's going to be something to watch here as well. Keldon Johnson, you wait for that guy to finally emerge and be the star that I think he can be. But I think the cream is going to rise to the top during this season, and we're going to see those guys that are ready to develop, ready to be leaders and great players in this league, and some that, may require a little help along the way. So, a lot of things to watch. And I think it's fun and fascinating to be able to watch these guys the way they are currently constructed and see what happens.
Joe Reinagle from Ken's 5 joining us here on The Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. You bring up Keldon Johnson, and I am a big Keldon Johnson fan. In my mind, he's the only untradeable guy on this roster. And I know he spent the summer winning a gold medal on the Olympic team, but he's probably been the biggest disappointment in my mind through the first part of this season. He hasn't been the dominant player I expected him to be.
And you make a good point there, but what you got to look at too, I mean, this guy got very little off season. He may just be a little tired, quite frankly, to start the season. And Pop may have to address that at some point in time. I can't remember the game, but it was a game 2 or 3 ago where it was here at home. It was against the Bucks, I believe. And Johnson wasn't on the floor in crunch time. Pop was playing others. Now, I don't know if Keldon just said, hey, man, I'm worn out. I got nothing left in the tank. Or Pop just saw something and he needed to sit him down. And I think you may see a little bit more of that. I mean, the guy went, he played in the Olympics. He had some quality minutes there. And I just think all that excitement and everything that he went through going, overseas like he did, the guy just might be a little bit tired. It may take some rest for this guy to get up to speed. I don't know, but I think that's what it looks like to me.
The Mavericks come into tonight's game 4-2. They got that win over San Antonio last week in Dallas, a game the Spurs should have won. They were up 20-something in the first half of that game. And then the news today that Jakob Poeltl is in the protocols. He's tested, I guess has tested positive. He's in the protocols at any doubt. How do the Spurs play without Yak tonight? I see Drew Eubanks in the starting lineup, and we know McDermott is available, but what kind of adjustments do you expect Pop to make up for the absence of Jakob Poeltl?
Well, Thaddeus Young has got to play. And why Thaddeus Young hasn't played more than he has already,
he's still here?
Is beyond me. He's still here. It's crazy. I don't understand why this guy has gotten no playing time, and he's complaining about it. He had an Instagram post, it was today or yesterday, and he's very disappointed. His family, I think his girlfriend or his wife came out and was wondering why he's languishing on the bench. And quite frankly, I am too. And if you don't want him or don't need him, then get rid of him and get somebody else, because the guy's still got some talent and he can still play and he's got some gas in the tank. So he'll get an opportunity tonight. Hopefully he'll do what I think he can do, because this guy has just been a solid player his whole career. Nothing fancy, nothing fabulous, but he's solid. And I think he could give the Spurs some quality minutes in some times. I think what's really hurt him perhaps is Drew Eubanks, and as well as he's played. Pop has to keep him out on the floor, and he's played well, and he's a guy that I love, by the way, but that's a topic for a different question. But I think Thaddeus Young is the guy that comes in and really gets an opportunity to shine tonight.
Joe Reinagle from Ken's TV joining us here on the Blitz. When you put it on a tee like that, I'm going to hit it out of the park. Joe Reinagle, tell me about your man crush of Drew Eubanks.
Okay, I will tell you. I'm not sure how much time we have, and I may go long, Jason. I don't know. I love when this guy comes on the floor, the passion and the hustle that he shows. He has got probably a quarter of the talent of anybody else out there on that floor, but he hustles, he bangs, he's not afraid to get in there. He's not afraid to play defense on anybody or go up against anybody. This guy has just got a giant-sized heart, and I love watching him play. Sometimes he looks ugly, sometimes he looks okay, but he gets out there, and every minute he's on the floor, he is giving you everything he's got. And, man, I tell you what, that is a dinosaur or a losing tradition in the NBA or any sport for that matter. This guy just loves to play, and you can see it, and I love that about him.
Fair enough. The man crush that Joe has on Drew Eubanks, and for a moment there I thought you were describing your golf game. Sometimes it's ugly, sometimes it's okay, and then sometimes it's ugly again. But
it's ugly.
You love to get out there and play. Joe Reinagle from Ken's TV, always appreciate the time. We'll catch up soon, my friend.
Absolutely, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Joe Reinagle from Ken's TV. Spurs Mavs tonight at 7:30, and you can watch it from the AT&T Center. It's going to be on Bally Sports Southwest. Of course, the game will be on here at Slackers. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. If you're near here, come by Slackers Medical Center location. It's on Fredericksburg. We'll give away those Cowboys-Falcons tickets coming up at 7 o'clock as the Blitz goes off and the Spurs will come on. We're out here for Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you in part by Jim Beam. They got a new product. We'll talk about it as we continue here on the Blitz and get you ready for Spurs and Mavs. First, let me tell you about Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. Very easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Chokes me up thinking about all the vehicles that I've bought through the years at Ancira. Some of those cars I really do miss, but I know that every time I go over there, I am going to get the best service. I know I'm going to get great value on my trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and their service after the sale is second to none. And price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
There's no other game like college football. And the tight end rolls to the end zone. And no one covers it better. It's game day every day for us. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I've been telling you, you got to get your heater tuned up, make sure it's ready for the cold winter months. I didn't think you'd need it today, but some of you are going to go home and turn on your heater, and you hope it works. If it doesn't, you call Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899. 651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. Whether you're having a plumbing issue, whether you're having an issue with your AC or your heater, you call Quarter Moon. And they do have great maintenance programs that ensures your unit is ready for every season. Call Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Rock the Mic is back at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We've narrowed it down to our top 13, and they're ready to show you what they've got. Join us at a Slackers near you. Help us decide on a winner and enter to win Dallas Cowboys game tickets. Today we'll be live at Slackers Medical Center location and tomorrow at the Slackers Nacogdoches location. And every day someone is going home with a pair of Cowboys tickets just for stopping by. Rock the Mic 2021, brought to you by Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar and in part by Jim Beam.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
At Manrique Custom Vision, you'll find some people just aren't good candidates for Z-LASIK. That's why they have different technologies for different patients. They are a custom vision center focused on helping people get rid of their glasses and contacts. Rudy J here. Call them today for a complimentary consultation to see what's right for you. Financing is offered to all FSA and medical spending accounts accepted. Get treated like family by Dr. Manrique. Call 354-2020 for the Manrique difference. That's 354-2020.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate, with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
A 17-week season and only one couch. Let's hope it holds up. The Cowboys are back. The explosive action happens here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Max Kellerman on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We are live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We're in the Medical Center location today. We've got those Cowboys-Falcons tickets that we're going to give away in about 10 minutes. So you still have time, if you're close, to get over here. Tomorrow, we're going to be at the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, the Nacogdoches location. Our next round of Rock the Mic contestants making their way on the air. And more Cowboy tickets that we'll give away tomorrow at the Slackers Nacogdoches location. And Rock the Mic 2021 at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar, brought to you in part by our friends at Jim Beam. Steven from Jim Beam, you got one of the greatest jobs in the world. Last year we did this. It was all on Zoom, and you were mixing drinks. You're live here with us at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar because Jim Beam has seltzers. Everybody's in the seltzer game now, right?
That's right. Very good to be back here. Really great to be here live and actually talking to you in person instead of across from the Zoom meeting. And last year, yes, actually, I was teaching everyone back at home about the highball, about that perfect 1-to-4 ratio and showing you how to mix them up and everything. But I'm here today to talk about, if you don't have time for that, we now have our Jim Beam and Ginger highballs and our Jim Beam Classic highballs available for purchase inside any local liquor stores here in Texas. Super excited about that because you still get that nice classic highball taste, that light, refreshing nature of it. It's 5% ABV, but you don't have to take the time to do it perfectly at home. If you're running a busy lifestyle, take it with you to the lake, wherever you're going to go. It's great just to go by and grab them at your local liquor store.
So you can buy those at the liquor store.
That's right.
You can also get them at your Slackers locations. You can have them
absolutely
ready to go there. And you taught us how to make the highball last year, and we used a lot of the vanilla. which has become a fan favorite of mine.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were over here last year at Slackers, we did a couple of different versions of them, but one of them was that vanilla highball, which is my favorite as well, too. That was why I suggested it when we did it. We don't have any of the flavors available yet in the cans. So if you're at home and you want to make that vanilla highball, you go get yourself a bottle of Jim Beam vanilla and some Fever Tree Club soda and go ahead and make it yourself. And like I said, if you're on your on the go and you want something light and easy, you can go by, you can grab the seltzers over at any of your local liquor stores.
What is the seltzer craze?
I think everyone these days is just really looking for like a more light, refreshing cocktail, which the highball is. It's not something super heavy. You can have a couple of them and you're going to be all right. So I think it's just everyone's kind of looking for a more maybe easy drinking cocktail, more refreshing, especially down here. I know we're getting into winter, but the Texas heat in the summertime, goes down real smooth.
Steven, appreciate you coming by here.
Always great to be here. Thank you so much.
Seeing you in person and not just over a Zoom video. And I'm glad we're doing Rock the Mic in person again. And we're at Slackers right now at the Medical Center location. Tomorrow we are going to be at the Nacogdoches location. Next week, we've got other Slackers that we're going to, including a new one that they have down on St. Mary's. That one is going to be a lot of fun. I haven't been to that location yet. I've been to the old St. Mary's location, but not the new St. Mary's location. And I hear there's better parking at that one. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I see Frank over there giving me the look. But, I mean, it's just fun to have everybody back. And we are giving away Dallas Cowboys tickets at each one of these stops. So if you didn't make it by Medical Center today, come by Slackers Nacogdoches tomorrow. We call it the Slackadocious location, and you could win yourself some Dallas Cowboys tickets. We've got Cowboys Falcons tickets that we're going to give away in about 5 minutes as soon as we go off and I start drinking one of those Jim Beam Highball Classics out of a can, which is in about 50 seconds from right now. We'll get that refreshing drink and we'll be ready to go. And it's just always a fun time. We had 4 contestants for Rock the Mic that were on the air during the Blitz today. If you missed any of that, you want to make fun of some people, make sure you listen to the 6 o'clock hour of the podcast that Pledge will produce here momentarily. But go to the website, sasportstar.com, and start voting for your favorites. We'll have 4 more contestants tomorrow, and that's one of the great things with Rock the Mic 2021 is we'll get all 13 of them on the air at some point, whether they're on the Blitz or the Saturday morning hangover, and you get to vote. But it's not just one vote. We want you to go vote every day until we get down to the final 4, because that's ultimately the key here. And then we will crown on November 18th our Rock the Mic Champ 2021. And you hear Michael Jimenez on the day on the radio with us every day on San Antonio Sports Star. He just started this week going noon to 2. You know what RJ Ochoa is doing. You know what Quinn Hudson is doing, Carolina Teague, Thomas Mott. All of the winners of Rock the Mic are working in the radio business, and none of them thought radio could be a career for them until they tried out for Rock the Mic. It is very cool to see these careers get launched. That'll do it for us here on the Blitz, here on San Antonio Sports Star. If you didn't make it, you're probably not going to win those Cowboy tickets, but I see Rob's still here. Rudy is still here. Hell, Carl Schoening is still here. Michael Jimenez is still here. We ain't going anywhere for a while. We got some Jim Beam to drink. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock live out at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. Tomorrow we will be at the Nacogdoches location with another round of Rock the Mic contestants here on the Blitz.
Rock the Mic moves into the voting phase. 12 finalists, live auditions, and only one 2021 Rock the Mic winner.
Hi, this is Carolina Teague, the Rock the Mic 2 winner.
Vote for your favorite Rock the Mic champ now at sasportstar.com and join us for the live auditions from Slacker